Fucking, I guess that's life. Yeah, I could like petition the government, local government and shit, and be like, "Hey, could you have a bus that runs up this route?" You know, I'm only one man. I can't do much as far as political activism when it comes to that level. I'm no President Jimbo over here.
You're no Joe Byron.
I'm no Tim Waltz.
My
Dude, I'm
brain is
not.
trying to recover from seeing some Nickelodeon brain rot.
Oh, you saw the thing too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that new cat dog shit.
Yeah.
I saw that and I literally thought it was from uh that fucking chicken nugget Max Design Pro guy. The one where he makes like those fucking gigagadigadagados where
Yeah.
it's like, what?
Mhm.
Help me. Yeah, I thought it was like that.
I thought it was
What?
legit. I mean, from
How?
the way it looks, I thought it was legitimately one of those like freaking content farm things. That's the vibes I'm getting from it. Like, what the hell?
Like you used to be cool, Nickelodeon. Why are you just like pumping out slop? Are you That's why I've always viewed like no matter what kind of meddling David Zaslav does, like Cartoon Network and Adult Swim will be infinitely better than Nickelodeon and Nick at Night in my mind.
Oh yeah, especially nowadays. Like, does Nick at Night's really falling off, and Adult Swim still has the vibes. They still have the vibes of what coolness should look like.
Well, that's the thing. Nick at Night never strived to be cool. It strived to be like fucking reruns of
Adult.
the Cosby Show and shit.
Like, I only remember Nick at Night for basically freaking George Lopez and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and neither of those things are on there anymore. So it's literally, honestly, it's always been more like freaking, I don't know, like middle-aged shows, basically.
Yeah, shit was wild when you woke up with a fever and like there was George Lopez jumping on a fucking trampoline at 3 in the morning.
Literally. Yeah, I feel like that's the defining moment for Nick at Night.
Bum,
Bum,
bum.
All my friends know the low rider.
The Flow Rida, as in the Flow Rida.
Oh, Jesus. So
Ah!
uh can I tell them about the fact that you think you have ADHD, or is it?
Oh.
So, after all of our previews are done, we are finally back to a somewhat normalcy. So, for the first time in about 2 months, hello everyone, and welcome to the Untitled Sickcos Project without a preview. As always, I am Bears fan, and alongside me, we don't have a guest, and we have my glorious other mates who help run the podcast.
Oh fuck. That burping sound you just heard was Carsausage, who thought it would be a great idea to just devour a shit ton of popcorn before the podcast started. So, you know, obviously life decisions going great.
Hi, I'm Nickman. I breathe air. That's the intro.
Is it smoky anymore?
Not right now.
Sick.
Hello, I am the MaskedAura, and when I leave, the day I leave fast food is the day I make my therapist, emergency dial their therapist.
Therapist.
With the amount of trauma dumping I'm about to do.
Yes.
Uh, but it's a regular episode. and we have a
Woo!
lot to talk about.
Hooray! So to begin with, we do have an update regarding the pick'ems for this year. For those who don't know, we've been picking games from the UFL to the CFL, and we're about to get underway with the college football season and the NFL. So as a reminder, here's how it normally goes. We normally have, there's 5 games, and we pick 5 games from the NFL, and I put college football also in quotations that we save those for upsets. And we do any ranked opponent versus ranked opponent in college football. But this year we're going to change one thing to the upset category. The upset category usually is you pick a team that is favored, that is as 3.5 underdogs, and that's how the upsets work. It's required that we always pick an upset every week. So to change the upsets this year, upsets going forward are now going to be worth 2 points. So you get an upset right, you get 2 points.
Neat.
The cap is 3.5, and we're doing spreads according to ESPN, because I don't know why I jumped back between Fox and ESPN. I should have just kept it ESPN. So it's purely all whatever the spread on ESPN says. That's what we're all going to be.
Could say.
Hold on, we're getting there.
We're
great. Hold on, I'm getting there. We're getting there. So any upsets going forward, will be worth 2 points. I will need one. If you don't pick an upset this week, I'll need one for next week, and vice versa. Because there's lots of games that could be part of the upset. So I will need an upset pick for quote unquote week 0 of pick'ems. Well, week 0/week 1. So it can be either this week or next week. I will need an upset pick. But also this year, introducing the newest, most hottest clause on the market. We have...
That's right, Santa Claus, baby.
We-
And he's 6'2", jacked and packing.
We have the double down. The double dawn. Do you want to wake up? Do you want to wake up every day, snort a line of cocaine, and pretend you're Taegan and make a hot take so ridiculous? Well, guess what? The double down is for you. Do you feel that there is the legendary upset coming up, and you want to use your upset, and you want to double down on an upset? Well, here's how the double down works. NFL, I require 7.5. That is the lowest I will go for a double down in the NFL. College football is 9. It is 9 by the spread. How double down works: if you get your double down, you get 5 points. If you lose your double down and the team fails to cover and the team that you're betting against covers the spread, you lose 2 points. If they don't cover the spread, like say for example Florida State's favored by 10.5, and say Georgia Tech loses, but they only lose by 7, you don't lose anything. And double downs, if you get it right one week, you can use it again next week. It's like a baseball challenge. You get the challenge right, you get to do it again. If you get it wrong, you can't use a double down for 4 weeks. It's a 4-week cooldown. So that is the newest change on the block. The double dawn.
I think every 2 weeks seems a lot more fair.
It's a 4-week cooldown if you get it wrong. But if you get it right, you can use it again immediately next week. It's risk versus reward.
Well, that's fair. I do want to troubleshoot it, because I think 4 is a little bit too long. I think 3 is reasonable.
I said 3.5 is a regular upset. 4 is 4 weeks.
3 weeks.
No, 4 weeks is perfect. Because, like, even then, you look back on all the upsets that would have happened last year, there's only, like, a very small handful. So
I have a.
And usually I was the one saying them.
Spencer was the one that is right. He was the one saying, but we got the newest double down. And all games, if you want to use your upset pick for this week, all of them are double down eligible. All of them. Georgia Tech.
Could I did want to ask real quick, how since we are doing it, could we do it this week where it's a no clause, where if you don't hit it, you still get to do it for week 1? Since
Well, no, if you do it
week
if you
0
use it week 0, you don't have to use one for week 1. It's if you can pass on making an upset pick this week. You can just pass. But you would have to pick one next week.
Right.
But we're talking about, can we do it where there's no penalty on the double down if we do it in week
For
0?
this week.
No.
Yeah, for this week specifically.
This week would be
I think
5
it would be fun,
it
though.
would be 5 weeks. It would be a 5-week cooldown cuz I need one.
That's-
I
No.
need either one
No.
hold on, you didn't let me hear me. I need one for this week
I don't
or
think
next
you're,
week.
You're fucking stupid.
I know I am stupid. Thank you. But I need one either for this week or next week. It's either or because there's only 4 games to pick from. So you don't have to make one. That I
I'm
said
not
you don't
doing it this way.
you don't have to do it this week. I wouldn't do any of the only one I would remotely do is Georgia Tech. But then again, I'm probably not going to do Georgia Tech. You want to do your upsets next week. I'm just giving the option for this week. The option's there if you want to take it for a week 0. And if you make one for week 0 and you hit it, you don't have to make one for next week. That's the point. I'm combining this week and next week into 1 week.
I did want to say real quick, representing the Ohio Valley Conference will be Linderwood this week, going up against Kansas. Or, well, no, not this week. Next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Yeah. Lots of insanity is going to happen.
Real quick, I did want to go over the games just so everyone is aware of who's all playing for those listening. So, for week 0, we have...
I have the list right here.
Might as well. Okay, game 1, we have Florida State versus Georgia Tech. We have New Mexico versus Montana State.
You know what's weird? Montana State's favored by 14.
Yeah, Montana State's a good
Oh wait, is
FCS.
Montana State? I thought Montana State is that Mountain West or is that Sky Mount? Was it Sky?
Big Sky?
Big Sky, yeah, Big Sky.
Yeah, I think it's Big Sky. That's
Big Sky.
They're in-
Okay, yeah.
Probably
Because
we
New
have
Mexico
SMU.
is Mountain West. Damn. Yeah, you go on.
We have SMU versus Nevada. Then we have Hawaii versus Delaware State. Which, once more, we would like to remind everyone, for Delaware State University fans, you will be watching this game on Sunday, not Saturday.
College football Sunday. What a world.
Sunday at midnight. Us West Coasters are gonna watch it at 9.
It's
But,
still god awful for you. But...
It is, but it's funny.
No, it's really funny, only solely just because Hawaii, right now, is 5 o'clock. So, for Central Time Zone, it's 6. But for Eastern Time Zone, it's 7. So they'll be playing at 5 o'clock, but for Delaware State, it'll be 12 o'clock their time and 5 o'clock Hawaii time. So essentially, it will be midnight for one team and 5 a.m. for the other. The the Delaware State Hornets will be basically staying up till 3 a.m. for this game.
Me and the boys at 3 a.m. looking for beans.
And that's another thing to consider. This game won't be over till 3 a.m. for the people on the East Coast.
Oh, it's beautiful too.
You
It
think,
is beautiful in
you
all
think
of
the
its
Delaware
glory.
State coach is like training them on like sleep deprivation type shit?
Hmm.
Let's check their football coach. Delaware State's football coach is Lee Hole.
No, it's backwards. Holy.
Lee
As in,
Hole.
holy shit, we have to play a game we have to play a game at fucking midnight on the East Coast. That is still an insane time. Not to mention it's not even on TV. You have to I think what does the Sickcos committee say? It's you have to download the Sports One app and you get to watch it for free, was it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Also, too, this is Lee Hole's second year at Delaware State. His first season, they went 1-10. This season, they'll hopefully be better.
Oh my
But
god, that's why Hawaii is favored by 40. Oh, they're 41.
Yeah.
I think it's 41.
40 and a half. That's
Holy
you never see that with Hawaii.
This is like, oh my god, they're favored by 40? Are you kidding me?
So
Yeah, no,
not only do they have a 7-hour time advantage, but they're also the other team is just straight up dog ass.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is their cupcake game. By the
No,
looks of
also-
it. Yeah, by the looks of it, it's the cupcake game.
Let me go through Lee Hole's history. For his playing career, he played at Holy Cross.
Okay.
He was for 2 years a Winnipeg Blue Bomber from 1990 to 1992.
Alright.
And then in also 1992, he was a Toronto Argonaut.
Played for the Argos. Alright.
But his coaching history, he was his first major gig was he was the wide receivers coach at Holy Cross from 98 to 02. From 2003 to 2007, he was Oregon State's wide receiver coach. For 2018, I mean not from 2018, from 2008 to 2013, they were Maryland's wide receiver coach. And from 2014 to 2015, they were Morgan State's head coach, which his time there was rather interesting. He went 12-12, and they fired him after his second season. Now, as to why he was fired, he resigned so that way he could be coach for the Indianapolis Colts, in which he was the Colts wide receiver coach in 2016. Guys, what happened to the Colts in 2016?
Isn't that the one where Andrew Luck, fucked up his spine and had to go to Germany?
Yes.
Yeah,
And thus,
I remember.
after that,
Hold on, sorry, just to say quickly, I remember when Matt Hasselbeck was having to start games for the Colts that year.
I liked watching when Matt Hasselbeck was starting games. That was a sight to behold.
Oh, yeah. By the way, after that, he was in 2019 when he finally got back on his feet. He was Wagner's offensive coordinator and wide receiver coach. Which, fun fact about Wagner right now, they have head coach Tom Masella, who's in his third season and has won 1 game out of 24.
Damn. I still think that it is incredibly funny that that I was like, it's because like Hawaii, like, it's Mountain West, right? But like Hawaii's not like good Mountain West. They're like, usually I don't think did they go bowling last year?
No. I mean, they were better last year, but they still didn't go bowling. But
They're pretty much only relevant because people are like, hey, remember when the Pro Bowl was played here?
Yeah, but and also like games
remember
start
when
like
Hawaii had that. Yeah. Remember when Hawaii had that for like a couple seasons in like the 2000s were, you know, really fun team to watch. But that was like the last time Hawaii was truly relevant in terms of football outside of the Pro Bowl, which by the way, that stadium got shut down because it was in such disarray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically my memories of that thing were like, oh hey look, Randy Moss is wearing LA right now. Neat.
By the way,
But,
just a quick correction to myself. Matt Hasselback was not in 2016. He was the year before in 2015. The guy I was thinking of when they started a game for the Colts on Thanksgiving was Scott Tolzien, or however you pronounce it.
Scott
Holy
Tolzien, oh my God.
moly.
Yeah.
But yeah. Back to this. Since then, he was the offensive coordinator and QB coach for the Howard Bison, and since then he has signed a contract with Delaware State, which is in Dover, Delaware. And real quick, I did want to go over their conference real quick because it is a fairly funny conference. So, as for the teams in their conference, they have Coppin State University, Howard University, University of Maryland Eastern Shore, Morgan State University, Norfolk State University, North Carolina Central University, and South Carolina State University.
Well, it's Div
Now,
2,
you may ask,
right?
what?
It's Div 2, right? Division 2.
No, it's FCS.
It's the
They're
lower part of
FCS.
Division 1. It's like
Yeah.
the lower half.
And they have associates with North Carolina A&T, and they also have with UAB. That's right. The UAB Blazers are associate members.
And the only reason I recognize one of their teams, South Carolina State, is because they had one game back in 2016 where they had basically the oldest player to ever play like a college football game play for them at age 55.
Damn, that's kind of
Bro was the
funny.
bulldozer in real life.
Yeah, literally.
Wow, ain't that something? Oh my god.
I did want to say real quick.
You know what? I'm gonna have
last
Delaware State as my double down.
Don't no.
I will say this real quick as well. Last year, Delaware State's only win was against Virginia Lynchburg. You may ask, what in the world is Virginia Lynchburg? It is Virginia University of Lynchburg.
I feel like that's kind of
it's
racist.
been a private, historically black university, and they have only 750 students.
Oh no!
Guess what? They won that game 48-17.
Oh, it
So-
was their only win. Oh no! That was their
There's
only
also-
win. No!
So I did want to say this real quick. They also played Army last year. And you want to know what the game was against Army? They lost 0-57.
Oh my god!
Yikes.
To be equally as worse, Miami of Ohio, Mac legend, he lost to them 20-62.
By the way, I just looked at the thing, and they also lost to a school called Bowie State, which is a Division II level school. They lost 22-11 at home.
To a fucking Div 2 team.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? No, it's a good. I think I made smart bets because I had the owner's son. I gave him a parlay that I think looks pretty realistic. Pretty realistic. Holy
And
shit!
just so we can take a quick look at their thing this year, they play Hawaii. They play Sacred Heart. They play Wagner, Richmond, Campbell, St. Francis, Robert Morris, South Carolina State, Howard, Morgan State, Norfolk State, and North Carolina.
They have no Division II opponents.
Yeah, they can't. They can't get their ass beat by the Tyson Bajans of the world.
Oh my god!
For any Delaware State fans out there, for any Delaware State fans here,
Their stadium is called Alumni Stadium, by the way. Alumni Stadium.
yeah, that's sounds fitting for them. But yeah, look, if you're a Delaware State fan, look, all I can say is this season's probably gonna be about as enjoyable for you guys as it is watching Nathan Peterman play preseason football on my TV screen right now.
Oh, he's in a quarterback the Raider.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. They already know Gardner Minshew is starting, so.
Yeah, just what I recommend doing is close your eyes, lay on your back, and think of England.
So, anyways, let's get.
Guys, I have really unfortunate news.
What's that?
No. One more thing. Football heads of it an opening game on Hulu, despite missing its scheduled flight Tuesday.
Oh
yeah! Delay.
Oh yeah, their also flight got delayed. Oh yeah, I remember that.
They are.
These guys make Lee Hutton sound smart.
Shuttle bus delaying.
Oh my god.
This makes the modern arena football league look like it was professionally ran.
Genuinely.
Big time.
That's peak clown show right there. That is peak clown show.
They had to take 3 separate flights just to get there.
Shut up. Shut up. No.
You think you have it bad, bro? You're not fucking a Delaware State fan.
Oh my god, that's a clown show. All right, well, speaking of which, let's get into the pick'ems. There's only 2 games this week. It's just 2 games because week 13 starts Saturday next week.
All right.
Starts Saturday. So you only get 2 games, and plus you have an optional upset. You can pass this week, or you can make one this week. Doesn't have to be a double dawn. You can make a regular upset pick if you want. Or you can save yours for next week, or unless you see one that you want on Thursday. So I will give you guys a quick look-see through. We'll be going to ESPN. Right now, ESPN doesn't have all of them at the moment. Games such as
By the way, Spencer,
Howard and Rutgers. But I'm pretty sure Rutgers could beat the piss out of Howard. And I'm pretty sure you could obviously assume what games would likely be the upset. But if you have like an upset pick on Thursday, I know Taegan should be eyeing one on Thursday. I'm just pointing it out, Taegan. If you take a quick look at it, you know.
I already know what I'm picking. I will live by it.
All right. Sounds good. It does. They do qualify for the double dawn. Just so you know. I'm saving. Also, there's on Friday games. Let's just start. BC and Ottawa. I'm taking Ottawa.
Yeah, give me the Red Blacks.
Nathan Rourke. Oh boy.
Well, give me the Lions. Give me the BC Lions.
Yeah, I'm going with the Red Blacks. I just gotta say real quickly, did anyone else see how that Rough Riders Toronto game ended? 'Cause that was pretty funny.
Beautiful.
A walk-off rouge. I've never seen it.
It was beautiful. I almost cried because that was just. Oh, it was beautiful.
Peak sicko. Peak sicko.
That was just. You could just cry. It was just so beautiful.
I did want to say real quick, Luke. I sent you the article. What do you think of the opening image?
Hold
I
up.
sent it to everyone.
Why is the head coach like Dwayne Johnson at the camera?
Oh boy.
Like freaking Michael B. Jordan.
He looks like he looks like the Patrick Bateman face, like the ooh.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The man knew the camera was pointing at him. He had to make a face. Okay, Edmonton, Montreal. Give me Montreal.
Give me Montreal.
We all.
You know what? I'm gonna use my. I'm gonna take the Elks.
I mean, they have been playing better.
They dropped 47.
The Edmonton's been playing better.
Yeah,
They've
all
been
they
playing
had to do was
better.
get a good quarterback.
Well, honestly,
Yeah,
they're using the same one as week 1. It's the same one.
Oh.
Plus, they're a
Are
bunch
you
of
guys-
fucking Frenchies.
The rookie quarterback they had, I think, is hurt right now. So they're back to New Orleans Saints Breakers legend. What's his nuts?
Kyle effing Sloter.
No, Bethel Thompson.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dorian
him.
Bethel Thompson.
Yeah.
No,
Anyway.
McLeod.
Oh,
I
McLeod
was
Bethel
gonna say
Thompson.
real quick.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for the first ever true TV game between Sacramento State and San Jose State? because the entire thing is so messed up that they're starting to play true TV. They're starting to play football games on true TV.
Oh my god. This is what happened.
Bro. Might I point out that True TV is owned by Warner Brothers Discovery. So, that's another thing we can blame Zaslav for.
This is what happens.
Also-
This is what happens to True TV when Impractical Jokers leaves the network for like 1 year.
True. No, they're gone. They're gone for good. It's all
Oh,
on
shit.
TBS now.
Yeah, I know they're
Yeah.
gone.
Playing
They
courts
left.
of- To be fair, Impractical Jokers has not been the same since Joe left, and I will stand by that statement. That's the what's a good soundboard for it?
Anyways, what's the other game?
That's it. We have your optional upsets for Saturday, Thursday, Friday. If you have an upset that you like it, you can take it. I will be.
I'm gonna use that right now.
Are you using your double dawn? Or are you just doing a regular?
I'm gonna
upset?
go into a rant. I'm going into my rant right now. I do not give a fuck about what anyone says about Colorado. North Dakota State will kick their fucking ass. Everyone's out here saying, "Oh, Colorado's gonna do this. Oh, Colorado's gonna do that." Have you seen North Dakota State, my guy? I've seen WIU get absolutely ganked in one tap by team. I'm going to tell you right now, North Dakota State would destroy Colorado. And it's to the point where I double down on it. You want to know something? Colorado is a bunch of frauds. They're a bunch of fucking dumbass, wannabe hype
Deion Sanders did have a Deion Sanders moment today.
Simply put, you may say, "Oh, you're just heated."
You're
Colorado
lagging.
might
You're
drop
lagging.
in 6 games.
Yeah, you're lagging bad.
Yeah.
Damn it, ESPN. Regardless,
ESPN
I'm
on
going
to
to say it.
you.
Regardless, I'm going to say it. I 110% believe in the fact that Colorado State, Colorado, God bless it. Colorado is a fraud team. I don't think this team wins more than 6 games this year. Because I think Deion Sanders is so focused on being the number one in the media rather than winning football games. And you want to know something else? I hope him and his doofus sons completely flop. Because you want to know why? They're completely a part of this too. You've basically raised these kids around so many cameras that you forgot to teach them how to be respectful human beings. You want to know the number one thing you should do with football? Teach people how to be a family and how to treat other people. Because football is the only sport where you leave all of this bullshit behind. But Deion Sanders has clearly shown everyone he does not care whether he's petty or not to the media. You want to know something, Deion Sanders? Fuck you. I hope you don't win a single game this year, and I don't think you win more than 6. I don't care that the Big 10 is nerfed. The Big 12 is nerfed. I don't care about any of that. Because you want to know why? I would root for Iowa State as an Iowa fan.
Let's go,
over
Clones!
you. I would rather root for the fucking Cyclones than the Buffaloes. I hope nothing but the worst for your coaching tenure. And I'm going to be frank. Is it bad to wish ill will on people? I don't know. But guess what? There are people who deserve it, and there's no one else who deserves it more than Deion fucking Sanders. I am doubling down on this take, and when Twitter blows up on Thursday night, when Colorado gets fucking hogtied by a team that only knows how to run the fullback, I'm going to sit back and laugh and look at that disappointment of a squad. I can't believe that I praised Deion at one point.
Oh.
All right.
Did you hear about that Deion moment that happened today?
I did not.
He says, quote, he will no longer answer columnist Sean Keeler's question, saying that the questions were, quote, sustained personal attacks.
Oh.
On fucking what?
So just so you know, taking with your
I'm gonna
double
say-
down, if North Dakota State loses by 10, you lose 2. If they lose by 9 or less, you don't lose anything. Just so you know.
And I get to try next week.
You
right?
get to if you get it right, you get to try again for week 2 of the CFB / week 1 of the NFL. If you get it wrong, you have to wait till week 4 of the NFL.
That's fine, because I'm more than prepared to stand by my take.
Yeah. So if you
I'm
win,
going to
it's
be
like a
frank.
baseball challenge. You get it right, you get to use it again next week. If you get it wrong, there's a cooldown. So it's just like baseball. Okay.
Oh, no,
Look, I'm gonna actually hold on. I got an upset. I do actually wanna
Go for it.
just to finish off what Taegan was saying, because I'm not doubling down with this, but I will go with the upset for the sake of this. I will pick North Dakota State as an upset over Colorado, and the reason's quite simple. It would be perfect. It would be so perfect to see Colorado just get humbled by North Dakota State.
Mm-hmm.
Even if my prediction's wrong, even if Colorado wins, if it's like a tough game where North Dakota State has Colorado on the ropes, and even if they don't beat them, I just want to see Colorado get humbled just a little. Just push them down just a little, because this offseason, and really with Deion Sanders in general, all I can say is that everything, what Deion has continued to do from last season into this offseason, all he has done is proven everything that Dan Lanning said about him is true. Everything he said about him before Oregon faced Colorado, it's only aging like fine wine. And the thing is, it feels like Deion's ego, not just Deion's ego, but his son's ego, have just only increased throughout the offseason. And someone, whoever it is, needs to tone them down.
They do.
That's why it's gonna suck so bad when they end up going to the Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, the thing I will say about Colorado is, like, they have every there's two players on that team that every reason to talk all sorts of smack. Period. Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter. Why? Because at the end of this offseason, they're as of right now, they're currently projected to go in the first round, and there's $35 million in your pocket, just like that. Travis Hunter's already projected top 5. Shedeur is, as of right now, consensus number 1 overall pick. I disagree with that. I personally think it's Quinn Ewers. I think Quinn Ewers is a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I
don't think they're number 1, but I do think, in terms of quarterback, like, it can be debatable, but obviously there's a possibility wherever Shedeur goes, you're going to have to deal with Deion bickering. Yeah, the circus along with that. By the way, I do just want to say, I have no issues with them. If you want to talk shit, I don't have an issue with it, even if I do think Colorado talks way too much shit for a team that, didn't make a bowl game. But I don't have an issue with, like, Travis Hunter. I have no issue with him. I think he's fully justified for the talent that he is, and he has all the right to say what he wants. But all I can say is, my only issue with guys like Shedeur is when I see them being assholes to, like, former teammates. That's when I have an issue.
Yeah, they're about to learn the toughest.
I did want to say
toughest lesson in the NFL too. Like, when you're in the NFL as a rookie, right? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, think of it. The Bears right now with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is probably is working on earning the respect of the locker room. I've heard Roma Dusnay talk very highly about him. I imagine DJ Moore saying the same thing. Keenan Allen saying the same thing. Like, there are guys that, immediately respect Caleb Williams. If Shedeur's going to come in like a child, right, and you go to he goes into an organization like the Raiders, it is going to be a disaster. Again, they're going to blow back-to-back first overall quarterback picks. In my mind,
Caleb paints his nails, and that means he's bad because only girls do that. Ugh.
I did want to say again, because I really don't, because a part of me thinks I'm so dragging this on, but simply put, North Dakota State University has a new head coach, and you want to know who their new head coach is?
Who?
Well, I just had his name.
Did he play for
Tim Polisak? He's been with this team multiple times.
Okay.
Granted, all of them for various different reasons. He sometimes left to do other stuff. Like, for example, he was their running backs coach, their special team coach from 2007 to 2012. Then he went to Northern Illinois to be their tight ends coach, and then he went back to be their offense coordinator. Then he went to Iowa to be their for an offensive line coach. Then he was offensive coordinator for Wyoming from 2021 to 2023.
I was hoping we were going to see he was at Oregon for a year. I was really hoping we were going to see he was at Oregon for 1 year.
No, sadly,
Ah.
I'm not. But think about it too. Look at 2021 Wyoming Cowboys. Yeah, they played in a typically weaker division, but they were a really good offense. Like look at these results. 50 points, 45 points, 31 points, 44 points, 52 points. Granted they had some, they had some 0 point games, some 3 point games, but he's been a
Uh-oh.
He's offensive minded, I
Oh
think
no!
is
He
what.
died!
Oh no!
Taegan died!
Dude.
No,
He disconnected. Oh,
I think
no.
the summary is he's an offensive minded guy, but it's gonna be depending upon, I think, especially with Colorado, particularly this year. It's gonna depend upon how physical their defense is, because I think they could start. They could beat North Dakota State and beat Nebraska, but get completely exposed by playing Colorado State again. That is something I could totally see happening.
Yeah, because the big things I noticed in terms of the big flaws for Colorado was the
He
trenches,
raises
like
from the
the
dead.
the trenches were
Oh,
definitely the biggest
God.
flaws for Colorado with both the O line and the D line. That was easily their biggest flaws.
Bro,
like Discord crashed. Oh God.
obviously that's Deion Sanders wanting to keep you
Yeah.
down.
That was
Yeah,
Deion
the
Sanders.
Aflac sniper squad came for you.
That's what I'm saying. But like back to my point. Even in 2022, 40-point game, 33 points, 24 points, 27, 28, 27. Like he has high scoring games. And
Well, no,
like,
he's.
the thing is
I feel like he's really good offensively minded, but like this is just how I see it. In order to me to beat Colorado, you have to be very strong defensively. Because I don't know if Colorado still has a strong defense. You can't have, Travis Hunter play, to be the two-way player
Every
that he
position.
is. Right? Like, he's good, but like you're gonna ask him to do a lot. Right?
Sort
And
of
I
like
feel
Isaiah Simmons on the Cardinals.
Mhm. I feel like the thing too, though, is one of the things that you don't really want to get into Colorado with is just a shootout, because I think Colorado wins those most of the time, right? It's
Yeah.
in order to beat Colorado,
no.
we've seen the blueprint. You have to be physical in the trenches. You have to push them around early on to where you have to force Shador to play from behind. And we've seen it, especially last year in the Pac-12, like specific games where the second you out-muscle him or you get his head out of the game, the dude's lost. He can't play.
Yeah, not to mention too, I was gonna bring this up, but North Dakota State University, their number one thing is pounding the rock down your throat until you can't say no. That's the type of team that they are.
Phrasing.
Yeah. Regardless, they pound the rock, and when you say no, they keep on pounding it more. They are a team that does not stop, and they do what they do, and they do it well. I've always been told it doesn't matter how good it doesn't matter how deep your playbook is. It matters if you can do 5 to 10 things in that playbook to 100% efficiency. Because if you can do those things from the playbook with 100% efficiency, then simply put, you can't stop it. And you want to know what North Dakota State does? I mean, yeah, North Dakota State, they run those 5 to 10 plays, the same thing over and over again to efficiency. So, I'm just going to be honest. I don't think Colorado wins it. I think they could even lose by 2 scores.
All right.
Also, too, this is a very classic case of a lot of young, influential men versus farmer boys from bumfuck Iowa and Nowheresville, North Dakota, and let's not forget, straight out of my ass, Illinois.
Well, I mean, NDSU is the college that gave us Carson Wentz and Trey Lance.
But Trey Lance
So
is
you have
still.
to throw in.
Trey Lance is
So you
still.
have to throw in asshole town Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at the end of the day, Colorado is. They've talked a lot of shit. They need to back it up, but if they don't back it up, guess what's gonna happen?
Deion's
Everybody is
Deion's
going
to the Cowboys.
Yeah. And here, the thing too, though, is like, I feel like Deion Sanders needs to be proven to be a winner, especially at the college football level, because you look at it deep down inside. You look at the interviews that he's done with. He wants to be he wants to try his best to be a father figure, and everybody has a philosophical difference on just what a father figure is, right? And I think it's going to be. I want to see him still be at Colorado when his kids are on the NFL. That is going to tell me what kind of coach he can be at. Because right now, I think there's a lot of nepotism, a lot of familyness going around because his kids are it. It's easy to say that, but I think once his kids are in the NFL, they've ran out of eligibility, only then will I want to see just what kind of person he wants to be. What kind of coach he wants to be.
For the big league before then.
Because the thing is, I don't know if he gets a shot. Sure, Jerry Jones could do the worst thing imaginable, the funniest thing imaginable, and have Deion Sanders as a coach. But you're talking about a coach that hasn't done anything at the, at the Power 4 level.
You know who else hasn't done much of anything?
My balls!
I was gonna say the Cowboys.
Oh. I thought my balls was coming.
Listen, the prediction could come true. It could always come true.
It could.
The prime objective is real, folks.
It is.
By the way, I just got a quick side note. I watched Trey Lance play football last week for the Cowboys, and I'm gonna be real. He looked better than both Minshew and O'Connell. So I found that worth noting. Given my two predictions of the Cowboys.
That's gonna be funny. Oh, no. Oh my god. If we're right, I swear to fucking god, if we're right on that
Taegan
one.
is gonna lose his shit.
Dude, if that somehow just ends up being right, we are future tellers. We have foreseen the futures in many miraculous and inconceivable ways.
And only $100.
If you thought the media was awful with Deion with Colorado, it is gonna be times 100 if he is with the Cowboys as coach.
Oh my god. The media is gonna eat him alive, and he's gonna love it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
He'll just suspend them from interviewing him after the game. Don't worry.
Soft. For upset
Just
for me,
called it.
I am going to pass. I'll make mine next week, so I will pass.
I'm gonna pass too.
Yeah. So Spencer and I will both pass. All right. That is the Pick'ems update, and that spurred into Fluff Colorado. All right. Now that we're still in the kind of the grind of college football, I am so excited for this season.
Yeah.
Honestly. We're talking the head you know me. I'm gonna watch the big boy games, you know. I'm gonna be glued to Miami and Florida. I'm gonna be glued to hell. As much as I want to say, how the hell is Georgia favored 13.5 over Clemson? I'm still gonna be glued to that game, though I expect that to be a blowout. I am more excited to see the SEC than probably anybody in this podcast group. I am giddy as a schoolgirl.
Yeah, you got that right.
Oh, I'm so
You know my
excited.
true love.
I know, you're the Macavasion. The Macathon. Oh.
I love action. Action, baby.
I am so excited.
Also Iowa State till I die.
Iowa State should be fun in the Big 12. Like,
Yeah.
keep in mind, like, we're talking about, like, the Big 12's nerf, but then the Big 12 buff next season as Clemson and Florida State will be in the Big 12 next year.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The fix is in, folks. The fix is in.
we're going to be seeing, no longer is it going to be just the 4, it's going to go down to 3 next year. There's nothing in the ACC, I'm sorry, football-wise, that screams powerhouse, you know?
By the way, that's not. I just want to make sure that Luke knows that that's still like that's.
Is it
not
pending?
happened yet.
It's pending, though.
It's I think it's been the rumor going on. It's been because there's still been the debate about is Florida State and Clemson. Actually, yeah. Wait, hold on. Let's look at this. I'm looking more into it right now. Just
Okay, it's a rumor. Okay, it's a rumor. Okay. But, like, can you imagine if... Because I know Florida State and Clemson, they've been wanting to leave because 13-0, conference championship, no CFB playoffs. I mean, they would have been completely gotten their asses kicked by Michigan anyways. But still, you're 13-0. I mean, they were down to their third-string quarterback, too, and still...
Yeah.
Like, I get... They didn't get in simply just because of a quarterback. They were a quarter... If they had their... If Travis... was a Hunter. Who was the first name?
Jordan Travis.
Sorry, Jordan Travis, my bad. Jordan Travis, if he was to start in if he was quarterbacking for him, you bet your ass we would have seen Florida State. But...
Getting their asses whipped by Michigan.
No, it would have been closer. It would have been a really close game. It would have been on the same level as Alabama and Michigan. And that game went down to the wire. That was a great game. It would have been not as close, but like watchable close. Like sort of thing, like watchable close. Like Florida State was really good. Their starting quarterback got hurt and they forgot how, and their offense completely fell apart. And so...
Yeah, Iowa State should be interesting this year because they, now that they have time to actually have an off season, I suspect things are going to go like really like flying, and especially with that offense. You
do have a very very brutal end to the season. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, but we pulled yet another generational running back out of our ass. Abu Sama, I think, is going to be the real deal. Just like David Montgomery, Kenny Nwangu, and Breece Hall before him.
Mm-hmm.
Just another generational fucking Iowa State. Yeah,
he's got the promise. I see it now. Yeah, I expect he'll have a big season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, mostly what sold me on him was the game against Kansas State in the snow, where he was just breaking off for these massive fucking runs.
Oh yeah, and they still have Rocco at quarterback, I believe.
Yes, they do. The son, I believe, of St. Louis Battlehawks head coach Anthony Becht.
I expect good things from. I'm looking at the schedule. Like I expect good things from Iowa State this year. Like if they have I could see them potentially. They do have key games down the stretch, especially at Utah and Kansas. If you can just win one of those, if you can win one of those road games and have a really strong, Big 12 schedule, you guys might be playing for the Big 12 championship. Like, it's like, especially when you have Texas and Oklahoma leaving, like, doors opened. Like, it's wide open. Anybody can take it. Like, Utah, I think, is going to be really, really good. They have their starting quarterback back, and their defense is genuinely really good all around. It's Utah versus any of these teams. It could be anyone, except for Cincinnati.
I could definitely see Iowa State making a trip to Jerry World this year.
And the big one is, I think they can really put themselves on the map if they beat Iowa this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. Iowa's, like, that defense is going to be insanely difficult. But if we're looking at, like, scheduling-wise, if you can beat Iowa on the road, either beat Kansas or Utah on the road, you have a really strong claim to the CFB playoff. Really strong claim.
Anyway, Taegan was saying something?
What were you saying, Taegan?
As the resident Iowa fan, of course the Iowa State rivalry is something very big. Again, I think Iowa State's a good team, but like I don't think they're that good.
We're gonna find out.
That they're bad.
No, I don't think they're bad.
No.
You should be going bowling
like,
at least.
I think they should be a bowler at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring this up. Iowa State has not won back. Iowa State has like not won against Iowa won twice in 3 years since 2012 to 2014. And every time, and I'm pretty sure of this, but every time Iowa is ranked, minus 2005, and yeah, just 2005, Iowa's beat them. Like, the only time that Iowa State has beaten Iowa when Iowa was ranked was in 2005. And pretty much from then, every single time Iowa's been ranked, they've beaten them. Now, will Iowa be ranked by that time? I don't know. But as a fellow Iowa fan, figuratively, they should. Because most of the time, here's what happens with Iowa. They get their very cupcake easy wins out of the way, and they're like rank 17 or rank 16. By that time, when they're facing Iowa State, they'll probably be like ranked 16th in the nation. And then once it's probably a pretty close and gritty matchup, Iowa will win like, I don't know, 20 to like 18.
Yeah, by the way, Iowa is currently ranked number 25 in the AP Top 25.
Mm-hmm.
I think this year's Cyclones are different, you know?
It is. It's not to say that...
Yeah, like, I get what you're saying, Taegan, but at the same time, bro, shut the fuck up. You don't even like hot dogs. What the fuck is wrong with you?
We're not discrediting Iowa. We're just saying, like, what if scenarios. Like, it's, again, like, the Big 12 is pretty open this year with no Texas, no Oklahoma this year, right? Like, it could, this again, the Big 12 championship game could easily come down to Utah and Oklahoma State. Like, that's what I would foresee it to be, right?
By the way, on the flip side, while Iowa State is not in the top 25, they did get 33 votes.
Okay.
So they are in consideration at some point.
They things could slide their way, huh? Yep.
Intrigue.
There's a lot of things. Like, again, week 1, as much as it's fully insane. Like, again, we can look at the quick AP preseason top 25. Like, I can straight up will tell you who I don't think should be in the top 25. Texas A&M. I don't think Texas A&M should be in there. They're playing Notre Dame. One of those teams is going to get bounced. USC, if USC loses to LSU, they're gone. Clemson, we'll have to see if they get completely creamed by Georgia, they're gone. Miami, they play Florida. If they lose, they gone. But they probably won't. Like, it's a lot of possibilities could happen. So we're just
I
waiting for it. But like I don't think a lot of stuff is going to be dramatically moving up and down. We're going to have to see, but if again, the Iowa State, they would currently be, if we went to 20, like Louisville's 26, Virginia Tech is 27, Boise State 28, SMU is 29, Iowa State is at 30. So we'll have to see what happens. I don't think they get ranked after week 1. They would have to be Iowa to get into the poll. But again,
Right.
we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, by the way, I love how Colorado has one other receiving vote.
That's funny.
Bruh.
They think
That
they're
was Dion
cute.
himself
They
putting
think
it that
they're
way.
guys, my
people.
father comes out of nowhere. Thanks, jerk.
Wait, what?
His
My
stepdad isn't
stepfather
the...
came into the kitchen.
Oh.
He came into the kitchen he's currently in here trying to get a soda, and he's struggling doing so.
All right, so that's how we'll see it come down. But Iowa
We
State,
got it. Night.
Iowa State could be really interesting going forward. As for Washington, for myself, I just hope we go bowling. That's my expectations.
It's going to be interesting being in the post-penis world.
Well, not only that, no Kellen DeBoer. Our entire starting offense gone.
Oh yeah, Odunze is gone.
Yeah, their entire starting offense is gone via the draft or transfer portal. Sure, we've gotten guys from Arizona, but we'll have to see how well it meshes well. I think they did all right with their newest head coach, but again, it's a wait and see. Like, even then, I don't expect Washington to go bowling. This is like the first year where they're kind of reloading and preparing for another deep run at another crack at the college football playoff. Because that's usually what happens with teams like Washington, where it's you really focus on building yourself up and have everything hitting at the right time. The stars align and boom, CFB. Although it will be very different with the current format. Be very different with the format.
Yeah, the expanded one. Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting.
It's gonna be very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
I
But
also want to say, I sorry to interrupt. I did want to say real quick, back to Iowa State. Spencer, I will actually have I have a friend who is a defensive back for North Dakota when they
you're glitching out.
for their first game of the year.
I'm glitching.
You're glitching out again.
Yeah, it's that damn soda your stepdad is giving.
Gosh, but North Dakota has a defensive back that I'm actually really close friends with. So week 1 against Iowa. Week 1 is North Dakota's opening game, and week 1 is also Iowa State's opening game. So I felt that was a little bit interesting to share that Spencer's favorite team will be going against a guy that I played football with in high school.
Very nice. Very nice. But yeah.
So, what do you think, Taegan? Is Western Illinois gonna win a game this year?
No.
God. Okay, let's go into a little bit of a rant now. Okay, WIU football has yet another head coach, and all I can say is I'm very thered of it. This sucks. I want to be free from this hell.
Who's their new
Anywho, they
head
play.
coach?
Joe Davis.
Joe Davis?
And Joe Davis. Now some of you may be asking, Taegan, who's Joe Davis? Well, on his Wikipedia page, it says he was born in 1980. So to be fair, I have no idea what day he's born in. Anywho, Joe Davis, he was quarterback for Adrian, and he played in the United Indoor Football Association for his entire football career. He played for the Evansville Blue Cats, the Lubbock Lone Stars, the Fayetteville Guards, the Green Bay Blizzard, and the Columbus Destroyers all at quarterback. Now
Oh,
everyone's
God.
going to be asking.
You know who else had a career like that? A certain bald man that may or may not be your mortal enemy, a Mr. Matt Nagy.
If you want to know,
coaching, his coaching career: Wayne State, Michigan; North Park, offensive coordinator; Wheaton, Illinois, offensive coordinator; Shippensburg, offensive coordinator; Northern Iowa, offensive coordinator; Fordham, offensive coordinator; Albany, offensive coordinator; Eastern Illinois, offensive coordinator; and now he's head coach of the Western Illinois University Leathernecks.
so do you want to know just the last time they won a game by 2 scores? Do you wanna know? I'm
It's
doing a
been
little
like
bit.
5 years.
Since 2018
Yeah.
versus Northern Iowa. I'm just going back. I was like, all right, 2023. Okay, they didn't win a game. 2022. Oh, God, they didn't win a game. 2021. Oh, hey, they barely won games. Okay, 2020. Oh, God. 2019. Jesus Christ. Like, you guys, that was like 22 last time you guys won 5 games. It was like 2017. The last time they had a winning season was in 2027. They even beat Coastal Carolina.
The thing is, WIU used to actually be a really good football program. They were like they were last chance
What the
U
fuck
before
happened?
last chance U. Well, you want to know what really happened? We basically got all of our coaches basically torn away from us. You want to know all those years where we had, very good players? Guess what? Guess who fucking took them from us? All the coaches around it. Everyone around us. Like, look at their look at all our coaches recently.
Yeah.
Like, look up WIU.
It's,
Let me show you real quick. Or, well, let me tell you real quick. If I can actually get to the blessed page.
Stomach it.
Stomach it. Oh, God.
Yeah, I can hear.
So, the times we were, like, actually good, from, like, Don Patterson was the best coach we've had in, like, forever. He was there for a while. Granted, he didn't really do too well in his last couple of years. Mostly just because of, him not being as great as he once was, but he made the playoffs. Then after he just kind of fell off, he went to be a head coach He went to coach elsewhere. Then afterwards, we had Mark Hendrickson, which he took us to the playoffs once, but he also won us go 1-10 one year. And his son his son was our last head coach, Myers Hendrickson. So we're hiring based off nepotism. And the thing is too, Bob Nielsen, South Dakota's head coach, was our former head coach, and he used to be really good for us. Or at least good enough. And then South Dakota poached them from us, and we got back to square one again. Afterwards, we had Charlie Fisher. Who's Charlie Fisher? Well, his last coaching credit was at Arizona State coaching wide receivers. Once again, Then we go back. We go back to Jared Elliott. Jared Elliott. His tenure was awful, horrid, bad, terrible. He got fired for a reason. It was very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. And we used to be good too. That's the sad thing. Like 1997, 11-2, 1998, 11-3, 1999, 7-4, 2000, 9-3, 2001, 5-5, 2002, 11-2. And then from 2002, it's been a constant downward spiral. We haven't had a winning season since 2017. In 2017, we didn't even have that great of a year. Like, did we have a decent enough year? Yeah. I mean, like, but still, it's just, it's frustrating.
So predictions for this year?
As of right now, I mean, we're in a shittier conference. We should be able to beat these teams, I hope.
I go 5 wins.
But it's just you're smoking crack.
4?
Like,
This is
You
a
should
team
win
that
one
hasn't
game
won
at
in
least.
2 years.
You should at
you want
least
to know
beat
something else?
McKendree.
We
McKendree
lost to
University.
Do you not understand? Linderwood was a D2 school still last year, and we lost to them. We lost to Linderwood.
Yeah, now you're facing them in the conference.
Yeah. We can't beat Linderwood. We can't. If we can't beat Linderwood, how are we going to beat McKendree? Which
Not
that's a
even-
game I might unfortunately go to that game.
McKendree, a private university with students 1,900, postgraduates 426, located in Illinois, LeBun. Illinois. Mascot is a bogey.
That's kind of
But, like,
funny.
But, like, here's the thing: we're not beating Northern Illinois. We're not beating Northern Illinois. We're not beating Indiana. I don't even think we beat Illinois State. McKendree might be the closest game we get to a win, and then
Wait,
from there
there's
on
an
out,
Illinois State?
yeah,
Yeah.
the Illinois State Cardinals, or no, the Illinois State Redbirds.
Well, I mean,
this-
we'll see on what happens, but like, yeah, it's rough because like, unfortunately, it's again, it depends upon what your university, how much they're willing to put into it, and especially like if you have a good coach,
Well,
they're gonna get poached elsewhere. It's
the
that's
thing is, though, WIU has been facing a ton of like cuts recently. Like,
oh yeah,
the university itself let off like 35 employees,
yeah,
like long-term employees.
That's not
Also, it
gonna.
doesn't
That-
help regarding the competition you also had to face as well, because I know they're not in the conference anymore, but I'm just looking at like the Missouri Valley, and it's like they have 7 teams in that conference that are currently ranked.
Yeah, North Dakota State, South Dakota State. Those
North
are two that come
Dakota,
off the top.
South Dakota, Southern Illinois, and Youngstown
Southern
State.
Illinois. Yeah, Youngstown used to be pretty bad, but they're kind of good now.
Yeah.
But like, looking up WIU in the media, it's sad because it reeks of sadness.
Yeah, they're the CFB factory of sadness.
Yeah,
The
no,
li-
I agree
they
that
eliminated their library factor. They eliminated their library faculty this week.
Oh
School
boy.
just started.
Whoa.
That's
That's a yikes.
Well,
89 faculty and staff lose jobs.
I understand library a little bit, but yeah, if there's staff layoffs, it means I don't think they're gonna look to being a dominant powerhouse anytime soon.
I think that they're just gonna try and stay alive.
Yeah, you're just playing for survival. They're especially at any sport level, it's gonna be one of those kind of.
It's giving the early 2000s Expos.
Yeah.
Let me just read this real quick. They are laying off 89 employees, 57 faculty members, so 57 teachers. 57 teachers, and then 32 staff will be gone. This also comes before the new fall semester, less than 2 months after 36 contingency faculty members were informed that their contracts weren't being renewed. The university is trying to shrink a budget deficit and escape a cash crunch, and there's no options left.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. I think winning football games is gonna be the least of their concern from now on, going on until.
Cut at 8% workforce.
Can
Yeah.
can a college declare for bankruptcy?
I think since their organization, they can.
The thing is too, like years ago, their enrollment was like 11,000. It's 6,000 now.
Oh, that's like half the
And that's
students.
just-
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
They faced a 22 million budget deficit.
yeah, that makes sense. Well, that's unfortunate for the Linux. Maybe they might win it, doubt it. But I think unfortunate for them, winning football games is like the last on their mind.
It's just this is why first.
Anyway.
Anyway, let's jump on to
Loser.
our first initial reaction. The big one being the first.
Nick,
Yeah, I'm sure Nick would love to talk about UNLV.
Yeah, UNLV.
You know what? Sure. Yeah. Feels weird going into a UNLV season where I'm having to talk about this team after making a bowl game, because that's only happened twice in my lifetime, in 2013, and of course last season where we won 9 games. Which, yeah, I mean, if you told me that UNLV last year was gonna win 9 games, that would have, it literally would have been crazy talk. Like, genuinely, I would have thought you were insane. But like, now I was expecting UNLV to, have a better season last year. I was thinking, hey, maybe this could be the year, but I wasn't expecting 9 wins last year. So that was very delightful. For this season, though, we definitely have a interesting schedule. I definitely think we'll be back. I expect us, and I hope we will make it to another bowl game again, because coaching staff from last season all came back, and if UNLV does well again, I have no doubt that a lot of the bigger schools, or Power 5 schools, will definitely be looking at trying to get them. Like, I would definitely not be surprised if someone like Barry Odom takes a job elsewhere, like Brendan Marion gets an offensive coordinator job at a high-profile school, because they both did great jobs last year. And seeing how UNLV has historically been one of the worst, college football programs in the nation, that the big programs will definitely take note of that when you turn, an awful program into something very good. And
I mean, isn't your guys' ceiling this year like 11 wins? Like, the only game that I could see on your schedule that might be kind of an issue is Kansas, but like, even then, I think that if they're hot enough by that point, they could contend with Kansas, because they're a very hot and cold team.
The thing,
I mean, it really depends how we start, because Houston will be an interesting opponent, because they have a new coaching staff this year. They brought in Willie Fritz from Tulane to be their new coach. So that will be an interesting game to start the year. Utah Tech, that will be an easy one. Kansas should be a fun one, knowing that that will be a rematch from our bowl game last year where Kansas won. So I expect that will definitely be the toughest game in terms of, well, just overall, that will probably be the toughest game. Fresno State, I think we should win. Syracuse should be a fun game, given they got a new coaching staff. Utah State, not high expectations for Utah State, seeing how their off-season's gone. Oregon State, I could definitely see us beating Oregon State, seeing how Oregon State basically lost their entire coaching staff and a good portion of the team.
Everyone's gone.
Yep, they went bye-bye from, well, yeah, because the Pac-12 went bye-bye. Boise State, that will always be a tough game. Hawaii, we should win that one, even though Hawaii can always be a tough challenge on the road. San Diego State should win that one. San Jose State, I think we should win that one. And Nevada, obviously, I think we should win that one, and hope we win that one, because I want to keep the cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Which, by the way, on a rivalry note, we won the Fremont Cannon back-to-back years, 2022, 2023. And the last time we won it 3 years in a row was the early 2000s, when we won it five straight years through 2000 to 2004. So, hoping to keep that streak going.
absolutely, Ruckfino.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
I can't wait. One of the 5 things I'm really excited for is the Florida State Revenge Tour. Because I think there's a lot more to Florida State this year that I think not enough people are saying. And that is their starting quarterback, DJ, however you pronounce his last name. He left Oregon State. I think he had a good tenure at Oregon, but he was cast off of Clemson. So I think especially for him, this is going to be one of those years where, he wants to prove that he was, worth all the hype. Because he had the unfortunate job of starting after Trevor Lawrence went to the NFL. So I'm excited for him to take the rock. And I really want Florida to really dominate this year, but I'm not going to expect them to dominate, If you kind of catch my meaning.
My issue with Florida State, I still think they'll be good this year, but my only problem is I really need to see how the quarterback play goes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect them to get the play that they got from Jordan Travis last year. And I expect, they will definitely face more challenges this year from the ACC. But in terms of quarterback play, one thing I do want to note is that for quarterbacks in the ACC, can't forget, Cameron Ward's with Miami now.
Cameron Ward, who did he play? Because Taylor Van Dyke...
Washington State. Ward
Oh,
was at
yeah!
transferred to Miami.
Right. Who's Taylor Van Dyke playing for? Because wasn't Taylor Van Dyke was at Miami, right?
Yes, he was their quarterback last year. I'm pretty sure he's at Wisconsin now.
Okay, Wisconsin, okay. Wow, Cam Ward. Because Cam Ward was going to declare, and then he undeclared from the draft.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he was going to get selected. But yeah, Cam Ward, and he's playing with Miami. That should be exciting. Yeah, I think the ACC is going to be an interesting watch, because especially I think how a lot of these teams trying to remain in the ACC is how many of them are going to make the college football playoff, right? Because I believe my breakdown is we're going to get the Power 4 conference champions straight out. They're just going to get a first round bye. We're also going to get a group of 5 team. I think just the best one is going to make the football playoff. But that still gives you 7 teams. That, the best group of 5.
West Michigan, baby, Broncos country, let's ride.
Oh, I have an announcement real quick. Approximately at 7:30 CT Friday evening, several players and members of the Chargers traveling party were stranded in an inoperable elevator at a team hotel. Dallas Fire Rescue responded to the incident and subsequently assisted everyone from the elevator one by one through its ceiling panel onto an adjacent elevator. The Los Angeles Chargers thanked Dallas Fire Rescue for the quick response, professionalism, and substantial efforts in ensuring their safety. From the Chargers Twitter account, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm not gonna lie, that would if I was in that situation, that would be fucking terrifying.
I mean, I was watching Evangelion today, and I literally saw that situation happen.
Yeah. So that is that's what
No
it
one
is.
in here gets it because no one here watched it.
I've seen the memes. I've seen the memes.
Yeah. I as back to it. So I think I believe those 5 spots. I think right 7 spots. I do think if Notre Dame has a good season, they'll be given one of the spots. Like they're gonna have to beat USC. I think they also play Texas. No, I don't think they play Texas.
I'll check. Let's see what the schedule says.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
I'm quickly
Let's see, what is
checking.
it?
Oh, they play Texas. Sorry, right? They play
Florida
Texas.
State.
They play Texas A&M.
A&M.
Oh yeah, they play
Nick, could you check
A&M.
what I tagged you in real quick?
Miami. Oh, that's Miami of Ohio. It's on Twitter.
Oh my god, I just saw it. Oh.
For God's sake. God damn it! What the John? What the fuck?
It was literally
Am I
less
right?
embarrassing
When my
when you were.
bro Aquafina realizes she's taken a W, she's gotta get herself and get her drip to safety.
What the fuck?
But John, you would have been better just saying Bean Chewing again.
Okay, all right. Let's get. We're getting off.
Jeez, everyone.
We're getting. I think. Look. Notre Dame has to go. Okay, I'm looking at this. Notre Dame has to go 12, at least 11-1 for me to give them in the CFB, because we'll see what Florida is ranked come November. But USC probably by the end of the season, I think they're like 6 and they're going to be like 6 be at 6 wins. USC's not going to get ranked. Their schedule is a joke. Like Louisville's going to be probably their toughest opponent. The schedule's a joke. Honestly. Holy crap. You have A&M, Northern Illinois, Purdue, Miami of Ohio, Louisville, Stanford, Georgia Tech, Navy, Florida State, Virginia, Army, and USC. That's a joke. That's an honest...
Yeah.
That's a joke. That is a joke. Like, last year... I mean...
Notre Dame itself is a joke. Like,
It is. Oh, don't get me wrong. It is a complete and total joke. But like they played Ohio State last year. They played like a good USC at the time team. They played Louisville that was ranked at the time, right? Like they had a really good like I look at it, like you play Ohio State, respect. You played USC, which at the time last year was really good. You had Clemson. Hey, that's a great schedule. Like they had an actual tough schedule. Like last year. This year, oh my god, this is a joke.
I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna use a metric that may confuse some of you. Do we really trust a team that NBC still uses their oldest possible graphics package for?
Oh my god, they do. Holy shit, you're right.
no, they don't. They don't.
Not anymore?
They didn't last year. Not anymore.
Okay. But my thing for Notre Dame is they're probably going 10-2 and you're still making the dance, which I would just be like rolling my eyes. They didn't play anybody good though. I hope there's some upsets here.
I think they lose to Texas A&M. I think they lose to them.
No, they're gonna. I think I could know because like I want Texas A&M to get unranked as soon as possible.
I mean, to be fair, here's the thing with Texas A&M. They got a whole new coaching staff with Jimbo gone. You brought Mike Elko from Duke, who I thought did a strong job at Duke and is familiar with Texas A&M. I think the real question is how does their quarterback. What's his name? Connor Wigman. How does he do? Because he's going to be the big question with Texas A&M. Because he's a 5-star guy. He's got a lot of potential. He just needs to stay healthy. Because the moment he went down last season was basically the moment Texas A&M's offense completely completely derailed.
Okay. I hope
Also,
Texas A&M can prove me wrong, but like Texas A&M, I'm not. I just want them to be unranked and earn their ranking spot. You know, not because it's. I don't know. Like Texas A&M is the team that I feel like is way overhyped every single year. That's
To be
just.
fair, they are Notre Dame South, if you could call it that.
Yeah.
Maybe not in terms of schedule, but in terms of like overhype. Like that's what I mean. Not because SEC is the SEC.
Oh
but,
my
like,
God, the
in terms
SEC
of
is a
being overhyped.
bloodbath. Like here's the Aggies have Texas, they have LSU, Mississippi. Like we'll see where Florida is at. We'll see how good Florida is. Florida's got a lot of pressure, but like Auburn could be really good. We'll see where Auburn's at, but like even then, like that's still pretty hard. Like
Missouri.
this is Texas. Texas is Oklahoma, Georgia, and then they end off with A&M. Have you seen Florida's just got like death march of a season they have? Like Florida's death march. Here are their last 7 games: Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, and Florida State. Oh my God.
we're forgetting about the true team of the South, the UL Monroe Roarhawks, and their new starting quarterback, General Booty.
Yep,
Booty,
UNLM.
booty, booty.
I want to. Maybe ULM. We'll see what ULM can do. But Jaron Booty obviously is going there for playing. Like there was another 5-star quarterback who lost the starting job at Boise State.
And who could forget the linebacker who just committed to Eastern Michigan?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So the SEC is going to be.
We're not going to attempt to say his name on air.
Noah.
Oh, Noah. Oh, the funny thing is he's white too.
Let's just put it like this.
No.
Yeah, I'm just gonna quote Reese Davis. Noah naysayer.
I'm gonna say Kibbs. Noah Kibbs.
Noah fella.
Oh my God, his parents are white
Know
too.
a kid. I know a kid.
Yeah, I can't. I might just watch Eastern Michigan's names so they can just completely mispronunciate the kid's name.
Yeah, they're gonna get Tom Brenneman hard. Nick Castellanos is gonna hit a dinger in the postseason because of it.
Oh my God! No, well, even if it's like in November, Nick Castellanos' like first plate appearance in spring training is gonna be a fucking home run, just to make up for it all. There's like, there's a bunch of tomfoolery that's happening around him in the MAC division. Sure, someone at like Fox managed to slip up, and it's up to we gotta wait till Nick Castellanos plays baseball again, and if it does happen in his first plate appearance in spring training, I think we can count that. I think that's
a grand slam.
It's a grand slam by Nick Castellanos. I think we should count that. That's just me. I think we count that if that were to happen.
Yes, we should.
Yeah,
we're gonna keep tally here at the Untitled Sickcos Project because damn it, we care.
Let's go to let's quickly go to the MAC. It is Eastern Michigan. Let's see. Big Ten. No, there's no networks yet that's announced. I don't think Massachusetts or Juville State or St. Francis, PA is going to be on national television. Well, I mean, Miami of Ohio, Central Michigan, Archon, Toledo, Ohio, Buffalo, and Western Michigan. One of these games is bound to be on Fox.
For the record, I cannot wait for the first game between Central Michigan and Massachusetts, because the way you can put the two logos together, it becomes the cum-ass bowl.
I love the silence.
1 second. It's
I wanted to
being
hold on
a
it. I wanted to
dumbass.
hold on that real quick because I thought it was funny.
But
Just like a vasectomy man.
I'm pretty sure, you know, maybe one of these games, and if Eastern Michigan gets really good, you know, if there's a really good game, maybe, just maybe, somebody at Sports 1 slips up and says the N-word.
Please skip Bayless. Please skip Bayless. Please skip.
Oh,
Bayless.
Skip Bayless is leaving Fox very
Yeah,
soon.
he's gone.
He's gone.
Oh.
He's done.
Either way, I hope this has a real chance of getting Skip canceled or something.
No, Skip is done. Skip doesn't. I don't think Skip really cares about college football.
Oh wait, no. God, if you're out there, please have Colin Cowherd talk about Eastern Michigan.
No, Colin's not going to
You're
talk
out there,
about. No, unfortunately, he's not going to talk about Eastern Michigan. No, he's not going to talk about Eastern Michigan.
If you're out there, God, listen to me.
As funny as it would be, Colin doesn't give two rats about Mac. He's only going to talk about the big games.
But if they somehow sneak their way into the CFP because you mentioned about the potential group of 5 entry,
Maybe. Then just.
God, that would hit like crack.
I mean, if anything, I think it'd be Nick Wright. I think you get Nick Wright. I don't think you get Colin.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, you get Nick Wright, but you wouldn't get Colin Cowherd, unfortunately.
Wait, Nick Wright, wasn't he already in trouble last year for?
Not really.
I seem to remember it was him. He made a gaffe for accidentally saying the R slur on live television.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people like it is a slur, but like I don't think people react to it.
What baffled people was his apology for it, saying he had.
Oh, it wasn't Nick. It was one of his. It was Chris Broussard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the apology was the weirdest thing I heard. Where he was like, "I'm sorry, my brother is disabled and he died in a car crash."
You know, I think that's the that's probably the more offensive part of what he actually said. Like that's not great.
Yeah. He is a bit of a buffoon, but
I
like
haven't said something random yet, should I?
no, don't. We're almost. What?
Out with it, Taegan. Out with it.
Something random.
Okay, cool. Anyways, so for the CFB playoffs this year, honest question: how many SEC/Big Ten teams make it? Honest guess. I want to say 5. I'm gonna say 5 if Clemson has a good year, but if Clemson has a very mediocre year, I think it's gonna be 6 and it's gonna be 4 SEC, 3 Big Ten. That make up the 7.
I think it's going to be all SEC and Big Ten.
Yeah.
I'll go 5.
I want to say 6 or 5. I mean,
we know the real answer is 9.
The real you're gonna get of the 7, right? You're gonna get all the division champions, conference champions, and the best group of 5 school. You're gonna get the best group of 5 school.
Please, Eastern Michigan.
So
have a great year.
That leaves 7 spots. The ACC still has Clemson and Florida State. If they have great seasons, then I think both still get in. But like Big 12, like I don't see it. I think I see only the champion getting in for the moment, unless like there's another Big 12 team that has like an insanely good year. But right now, I
think one thing's for sure: one of those spots is going to go directly to Notre Dame, no matter what.
I think Notre Dame's gonna get one of those spots. It's their schedule's too easy. If you're 10-2, you have all the qualifications to really make it in. It depends what the AP poll says about the team, you know?
Well, I think it's mostly just for a ratings thing, you know.
It is, and
worst case scenario, they'll be in as the 12th seed with like an 8-4 record.
Now 8-4, I wouldn't want them in. I think at minimum they have to go 10-2 to make it.
It's Notre Dame.
I know it's Notre Dame.
Standards are so low for them that
it is, but
not even at 8-4, but they'd have to go 10-2.
Because the problem is their schedule's pretty easy this year. It's not as hard as it was It's not as like last year's was really hard. You play Ohio State, and you play ranked US, like a top 10 ranked USC. You played ranked Duke, ranked Louisville. Like I give full credit to Notre Dame. They played a much harder schedule, and I would have been okay if they made the CFB if they had won those critical games, but they didn't. So to me it's going to be 10-2 is the minimum for Notre Dame to get in. But like, who outside of the SEC or the Big Ten would you want in?
Well, you can guess my answer right away.
Cyclones.
Mm-hmm.
I want Tulane. This isn't about Tulane.
Their mascot is an angry green wave.
Mm-hmm. I want Tulane. I want Tulane, but if I think about it, I've heard a lot of good things said about Boise State.
And my favorite fact about the Green Wave is that Nevada has a team like the Green Wave, but their logo is like radioactive green.
Yeah, the high school logos.
Mm-hmm. That's such a great logo.
Radioactive Green Wave, go burger.
I know Taegan hates Colorado, but I'm gonna be definitely like Colorado would be ratings galore, but they would they have to go 10-2. They have to go 10-2 and make the Big 12 championship in order to be even remotely considered for it. I don't think they do, but I think Colorado would be ratings galore. I think
which is why I think the standards are going to be dropped for them.
Mm-hmm. I think the closest team that, like, if Utah wins the Big 12, I think to me the closest team is probably Kansas right now. I think it's Kansas. I think if Kansas goes, they go 10-2, they make it close, they might get a shot at the dance, but we're gonna have to.
It's gonna be interesting to see how the Big 12 shakes out.
Mm-hmm. It's open season in the Big 12. The SEC is gonna be a fucking bloodbath.
And the Big 10 is gonna be, pretty standard Big 10.
It's standard Big 10. It's standard Big 10.
Even with some new teams there, it's just going to be standard Big 10,
like
3 yards in a cloud of dust, blah, 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 blah.
The problem is that USC, they might win 7, they might win 7-8 games. Right? Like, not a huge amount. Right? UCLA, they've had their entire coaching staff poached. Like, Chip Kelly's an OC at Alabama?
Yeah, he's at Bama now, but
so he was like Chip Kelly was the only reason UCLA was even remotely good last year. Like he might be a terrible NFL coach, but I think for college he does a very good job. Washington just lost their entire starting offense. And that's
Yeah, what are they-
hard to bounce back from.
Oh yeah, I mean, like the Minnesota Golden Gophers can attest to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Bubble Gophers had the best chance of winning the Natty, and they blew it. And then the next year, pretty much everybody they had was gone.
And it's tough to follow up upon. Like, the only team that's going to do a lot is Oregon. Like, Oregon has the best chance to probably, of the Pac-12 leavers, they probably have the best chance to win the Big Ten. Like,
Yeah, I mean, don't forget though, they're facing Ohio State in, like, I think around the first week of October,
Week
and that game's
4.
gonna be massive.
Oh, it's going to be a huge game.
Well, not
That
to get
week is
political.
gonna be loaded.
Week
Not
4.
to get political,
Oh
but
my.
that's another reason to hate J.D. Vance. He's from Ohio State.
Oh my God. Let's look at week 4 for a quick. Let's look at week 4 for a quick second. Then I think we can jump into. Then I think I'm satisfied with. We'll talk more about it. As games get really close, but we're kind of in that like lull state. Week 4, Ohio State plays Marshall. Okay, so week 5.
I'm looking for the week where they play. Where they play. Where is
What
it?
the fluff? Week 6? I think it's week 6. I think
Of course,
It's week 7.
Week 7.
Week 7. Okay, week 7.
Oh fuck!
Ohio State, Oregon. Let's see what else we have.
Ole Miss,
LSU,
Ole Miss and LSU, Penn State, USC,
Penn State, USC,
Florida, Tennessee, Kansas State, Colorado, Syracuse and NC State, Washington and Iowa. What else?
Week 6, you said?
Week 7.
Week 7. All right,
Texas. Oh, we have the Red River rivalry. Oh my
Yep.
God. Holy shit.
We
Oh,
got
this
Iowa and Michigan State.
that should be an interesting game.
And then the week after that is Michigan versus Michigan State, which means I'm going to have to be dealing with hell on earth here.
Mm-hmm. But, like, holy smokes. We are going to get some good... There's going to be some good games.
Yeah,
Oh.
but, I can't wait to just put on, like, an UW Milwaukee Panthers hoodie and just be like, fuck you both. You're both, like, annoying shits.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's going to be
This
a
is
good
off
week.
topic real quick, but you want to know who's on the Eagles right now that I just realized?
Who?
John Ross.
Ah,
He's
Oh
Precious.
my
still in the
God.
NFL.
Remember him? I thought he busted out. 'Cause I
No,
remember-
he's still in the NFL.
I remember when the Bungles selected him, and it was like, seriously? You went with a wide receiver when your O-line looks like that?
But he ran fast.
I'm shocked
Mhm.
he's not with the Raiders.
Yeah, it's kind of a shock. It's kind of a shock. All right, I think that's going to do it for college football. Now into some other interesting news. And Spencer, you're going to hate me for this. So, you know how I said the San Jose Sharks? Well, I said they were 4 to 5 years last year, which meant there would be 3 to 4 this year. I might have to, and I changed, I read lots of articles. I changed it to 2 to 3. I might change it to now 1 to 2.
Okay.
Holy crap, the trade that they made.
What did they trade?
They
Who did
traded
trade
the
with?
top goalie they traded for the top goalie prospect. Because the Predators, they're not going to need him. They're straight up not going to need him. Because they have Yusei Saros, who they just extended. So they got Yaroslav Askarov and Nolan Burke and a 3rd round pick. That's Colorado's in 2025. they sent to Nashville a first-round pick, Magnus Corona and David Enstrom. So Magnus is probably their top. Is like one of their goalie prospects in their system. Holy crap!
I don't get why you think I would hate that.
I thought you would, because Adainism. That's why.
No, it's more when Aiden says it and won't shut his fucking mouth about it.
If I say it, there's like actually. This is when I say it's like there's actual like legs to it, right? There's legs. Like,
you're not like the North Korean government about it.
Oh, okay. Because like,
and again, Aiden thinks every player the Niners get is like a steal, and it's like
they
like
have.
I said, North Korean television.
They currently have, like, what was it? I was reading articles all over at work about the Sharks prospect. Like, if the $1 million question for them is, what is the ceiling of their defensive prospects? Because now the $1 million question beforehand is, well, what's going to be their goalie prospect? Like, they just answered that. This guy's going to be starting could be starting for them this upcoming season. They potentially have centers 1 and 2 in Celebrini and Smith. I mean, Eklund's good. Quentin Munsty's going to be really good. You got Thomas Bordlow, who you're hoping that he can at least be the middle six in that group. And they still have more. They have this just shocking thing. They have the, and all the articles that I read, they all said the same thing. They have never seen a deep prospect pool like the Sharks have. Like, the Coyotes have, like, well, the Utah Hockey Club, they have a pretty good, hockey group of prospects right now. A bunch of really good young players. Like, their rebuild's going to be really done. But the thing about the rebuild was, it took them a very long time. Like, they have prospect and prospect depth for the prospects. Like, it is really good. Like, you wonder how a team like the Blue Jackets have never been able to assemble like a group like the Sharks have. And that's something that you all gotta really watch out for the Sharks. The fact that their rebuild is going to be over fairly quickly is absolutely insane. Like, the entire Sharks management has done such a good job at rebuilding and retooling this team. Like, well done.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I still think this upcoming season could be a struggle because they're still, still waiting for some more guys to come, but I feel like 2026, so after this season, yeah, that's really going to be when you see the pieces come together, because I believe Smith will be there, and Celebrini will definitely be there by then.
That's the big thing that I don't know yet, is if Celebrini or Will Smith go back to college. I think Will Smith plays this year. I'm more sure that he's going to play for the Sharks than I am with Celebrini.
Yeah. Because that's the one thing that will, those are the things that will probably decide how long is this process going to take. Because it's very clear there is an end goal with this process, and it's being built very fast. It's more just a matter of okay, when is it going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I always try not to, be too intrigued too much by the prospects, because it's like, one, Marco Rossi looked like he was going to be the center of the future for the Wild, got long COVID, and is on the fringes, is now a two-way player between Iowa and Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And also the Shanna plan.
If you want to look at with the Shanna plan, it is to win a cup. I'm just telling you, when the Sharks to make the playoffs. And if you look at the Shanna plan, like, when I say when you're doing a rebuild, to me is when you make the playoffs. Back-to-back years, I think you're done rebuilding, right? That's what I'll consider.
Part of it worked. A thing that's not worked with it was,
the
and
cups.
past the rebuild. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
that's the, and that would be the big question one day for the Sharks, considering their history. And, that will be, like, okay, you've rebuilt this, you've done a great job rebuilding, and now you have all this young talent. Can you conquer your demons? Because, the Sharks are, well, they have that history, and when they have this run with this new core, you know damn well that a lot of those things, a lot of the narratives that's going to be talked about with the Sharks is this is the next big core, and they bring a cup to the Bay Area.
Or will it be the early 2010s all over again?
Well, there are going to be, and like they're going to be like these players. This group of players that they have is going to be incredibly young. Is it going to be more? I find more of a repeat of what they were when they had the like, Logan Couture, Joe Thornton, like those kinds of like those legendary players, young and then into their prime for a very long time, but could never like they've won rounds. They've been to the Western Conference Finals. But they still just to
final once,
mm-hmm.
but just couldn't do it.
Exactly. Can this group erase the demons of the past? And I think it's going to be baby steps with this core. And it's not like the Pacific is a hard division to get top 3 in right now. Like the Oilers, they're in a really great state. Like the Oilers are going to be in a dominating state. The Knights are going to be in the Knights. But my question is like, it comes to the Canucks, the Kings, and the Knights and the Kraken right now. Because at some point the Knights, and it happens to all teams, the Knights haven't really signed a bad contract yet. No, they've always like, they've missed, there was that 1 year where they missed the playoffs because they were dealing with injuries. My thing with it is at some point I feel like the quote unquote Patriot way it's bound to catch up,
Yeah, and I might as well talk about the Golden Knights right now because honestly, my thing with Vegas is I feel like we're in an interesting position right now because there's no question this team has gotten younger because we made the trade for Alexander Holtz from the Devils, who was a former top 10 pick. He's only 22 years old, and he's got promise. He's the kind of guy where you want to take that chance on a change of scenery, where he's a young player that has promise, but he needs a change of scenery. And Vegas has done this before, where they've made change of scenery guys work. Now the problem is, my big question is obviously the big story of the offseason with the Golden Knights is the fact that we lost Jonathan Marchessault to the Predators, which, yeah, that was definitely painful. That was not fun when that happened, but there is some things I understand with the move because you don't want to, obviously I get like with a guy like Jonathan, you don't want to pay him till like his late 30s and all that. The only problem is now it's like, well, who's gonna be, the top, right wingman playing with Jack Eichel? Who's gonna be that top guy with him now? Because, I mean, Holtz is a, young, promising player, but he's, is he ready for that role yet? And I feel like that would be a lot to ask from him. And yes, in terms of talent, yes, we have Mark Stone, but let's be honest, as much as I love the guy, he's a ticking time bomb of an injury. Like, that's the reality with Mark Stone, and you can't really trust him there. So it's like, it's in a position right now where it's like, I'm glad we got younger. I like that we did that. But my question is, I feel like this season might be a transition year for the Golden Knights, where it's like they're still very good, but something feels a bit like it's missing with the team. I just have a feeling it might be one of those seasons.
Hey, you know who is a right winger who's available?
Who?
A guy by the name of Zach Parise.
Yeah. I mean, because like my question with the Knights is when push does come to shove, and like I do think like all those years of them being very aggressive and constantly buying in at the deadline, it's eventually gonna bite to where the Knights are gonna be completely forced, dragging, cricking, and screaming into a rebuild. I don't know when that is. you hope that the course stays as long as possible. At the end of the day, the Knights, they did win a Stanley Cup after all.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah, that's the cost of that. That's, the front office, even like Kelly and all that, they even noted that, yeah, there's gonna be some sacrifices you're gonna have to make here. Is with these moves and all that, and the cost of winning a Stanley Cup. It's great. It's just it's the cost of winning one when you go all out to get that glory.
I mean, the Canucks too. Sure, they got a lot of they got their core right, but I really feel like the Canucks highs with this current group of players, the window I don't think would nearly be as long as I see with the current group with the San Jose Sharks. I think it's very, very limited, and we're in a Canadian market, really in a Canadian market too, and they've drained their prospect pool already. So that's going to be another team to really note for. Like, they just lost Vasily Podkolzin, someone who, like, let's be honest, Edmonton just got the biggest bailout of all time. The fact that they got Podkolzin, who now doesn't have to try to get to be in a top six role, can survive in a bottom six role, is like the ultimate bailout for a team that's struggling against the cap. Because now you only have to lose one of your players due to being offer sheeted instead of two.
Yeah, and I think I feel like with the Canucks, like for me, like the way I see it is how far they go is really going to depend on, can they keep up what they did last season, which I definitely think in terms of offense, in terms of, the players they got, they're talented enough to do that. My only concern right now with Vancouver is some of the things I've been hearing about
you've heard them too.
Thatcher Demko and his progress.
Yeah. I think he might have re-aggravated his injury trying to come back.
Yeah.
I think he's tried to push it too far. And the thing is, we still don't know what he hurt. We don't know. Right? And I mean, keep in mind.
And that's an issue. I feel like that's honestly an NHL issue of how they clarify injuries and the fact that, they always use terms like upper body, lower body injury. It's like, okay, that's cool and all, but like, what's exactly the injury?
Like, I think I get that with the NHL. Like, I get that because it's a dirty game. Like, if you say, hey, it's a shoulder injury, they are going to target that injury and get it hurt again, because that's hockey.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, but that's hockey. Right? And the fact that I don't even know if it's an upper or a lower, but we just know he's hurt still. We don't know even if it's upper or lower body. Like, you can keep on, like, Rick Dollywall is a very, very good Canucks insider to follow. Like, really, like, I trust what this man says when he brought it up with Jason Brav and somebody else. I don't remember who, but I don't know if it was one of the TSN 1040 guys when TSN 1040 was still in Vancouver, but goes on and says, yeah, this might be looking like a lot longer injury history. He might not even be ready, because he just flat out says, yeah, they're just poking around the goalie market. They flat out don't know if Thatcher Demko is going to even be ready for the start of for training camp. And now it's come out, yeah, he's not ready for training camp, and he might not even be ready for the start of the regular season. Like, that to me is just, like, how bad was it, and did he re-aggravate it? Like, they've known this since the draft. So we all kept thinking, like, especially when the Canucks were in the playoffs last year, we kept thinking, like, Thatcher Demko's like a week or two away. We kept thinking that, and then it's like, okay, he probably might not be ready for the Edmonton series. We're like, but he's close. But it turns out he might not have even been ready to begin with. And we didn't know why. We don't know what it is. Which just frustrates the living hell out of me. And I get that that's the nature of the NHL. But even then, with some injuries that we hear from players, you can kind of piece together, what the injury is, right? Like, I bet you with Austin Matthews was playing Game 7 with a concussion. Flat out. Like, we even for playoff runs, we hear the insane amount of surgeries that players have to go through after every single deep playoff run. It is absolutely insanity.
And if I remember correctly, I remember hearing something like Nylander had something going on with his eye or something during that playoff.
It was migraines.
Oh yeah, migraines.
I think it was. And Nylander and Austin Matthews, I think, both played with concussions.
Hey, Blue Bombers won. Woo!
Yeah. They both played with concussions, which is kind of what I concluded too. And they still did more than Mitch Marner and John Tavares, which will haunt my dreams forever. But and that's I hope they get the deal out with the Thatcher Demko. I hope they figure it out. Onto the Kings though. The Kings, I don't think they've got good players, but I don't think they have the it factor, right? There's not a superstar in the rating. I think they're in a position where they're too good to fight for a playoff spot, too good to tank, but not good enough to, do really anything of note in the playoffs. And I think it's the same thing with the Kraken. Like, everyone knows how I feel about the Kraken. There's not a superstar. It's all this year is going to hinge on whether or not Shane Wright has maybe the it factor, and if Matty Beniers can take that next step. That's all this year is going to be about for the Kraken. Dan Bylsma is. Last tenure was really bad, but Dan Bylsma has been with these young players in Coachella Valley, so I'm pretty excited for him. But it's also not really good to hear when the consensus is that the two guys that you spent a lot of money on were the completely not the right moves.
Yeah, because I saw with Montour I can understand, but even then 7 years, that's still a lot of money. But with Stevenson, okay, I'll say it as a Knights fan. Good for Stevenson to get paid and all that. And the thing is, it's not really the length of the deal that I hated about doing that. My issue with the Stevenson contract is more, okay, you gave him 7 years, but you're also paying him, like $6 million annual average. And as much as I like Stevenson, it's like I was fine with letting him go. Like, he's a good player, but like 7 years and like $6 million annual average. That's definitely a lot.
Mm-hmm. It is a lot, and they extended Matty Beniers. They're now $2 million over the cap right now.
Yeah.
So that's not really like I'm happy Beniers is like I think the money for Matthew Beniers is I think the money for Beniers is actually really nice. But
That's fine.
Yeah, he hasn't done much. Yeah, like he had a good rookie season, but just
I feel like Beniers. Yeah, he needs a better. Like, he needs more of like what we saw in 2023, and improve upon that, and less of what we saw last season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm excited about? It finally seems like the Wild are finally being able to see the light at the end of the financial crunch tunnel.
Like, Spencer, can you imagine if the Minnesota Wild have a really good not like a deep playoff run season, but can you imagine if this at minimum the Wild make the playoffs, and you can imagine in an off season you're gonna have probably a potential extra $20 million, depending on how much the cap goes up in the off season, of space to work with.
Holy shit.
That's you're going to have young players that are going to need pay raises. You're not going to be worried about that. Because you're going to be able to...
Honestly, we've already had a little bit of that with paying some of the younger players, because guess what? We just paid Brock Faber, on an 8-year deal.
Capo? No, Capo, good lord, no, what is it?
Philip Gustafson?
No. The Russian. Kirill Kaprizov. Yeah, there we go. Is he under long-term extension yet?
I believe he is.
Okay, so that's good because he is
Obviously he's the spice, you know.
Mm-hmm. He is the key ingredient to your recipe. But like the thing is, like, if the Wild are like a borderline playoff team, I'd be really excited. And if I'm in like the Central too, is gonna be a bloodbath again. Because do you want to know what the Nashville Predators have to work with? They have 3 first-round picks in 2025. 3.
Yeah, because of the Tandem Jeannot trade where, you know, they were like...
They have the Tampa Bay Lightning's first. They have Vegas Golden Knights first.
Yep.
They also have a deep prospect pool, and they spent a lot of money in the offseason. Like, the Predators, holy smokes, the Avalanche are still...
Smashville could be back.
The Avalanche are still the Avalanche, right? I mean, good Lord, you don't want to be a Jets fan right now because everybody else got insanely better. I expect the Utah Hockey Club to be much, much better this season. Much, much better. And the Blackhawks, they'll be merging. They'll be getting better soon. I just don't think they don't have a deep prospect pool like someone from Utah or San Jose does.
Right, it's like they have Connor Bedard, but what else do they have?
They might have a top goaltending prospect in their system, which is good. And they also had defense. He played defense. Rookie season for defense for them. I see his face in my head. I can't put a name to it.
It's okay, neither can I.
I might have to quickly search up the Blackhawks. I think he's really good. At least.
I just personally can't stomach the Blackhawks for very obvious reasons.
I can't stomach the fact they have Connor Bedard.
I can't stomach the fact that, Rocky Wirtz allowed that kind of an organization to fester as long as it did.
Mm-hmm. They have Kevin Korstinski, which I think is which I have a really, really high. I'm really high on him. I like Kevin Korstinski's, but like the fact that, I mean, the Blues, there might be the team that might be the odd team out here. It could be the Blues.
They're still Minnesota's kryptonite.
They still are, but like I do not want to be a Jets or a Blues fan right now because, holy crap. Oh my Lord. Like, this division is going to be insanely good this year.
Yeah, it's going to be the Central with 5 teams representing and
Pacific
with.
Oh, absolutely, because like the Pacific, it's better than I think what it's been. It's not the worst. The worst is the Metro. Oh Lord, the Metro. Like, the Metro's going to be flat out bad.
Rancid.
Worthy. Rangers still going to be good. I think Carolina's still going to be good. But the Islanders, I mean, the Caps are a big unknown. Pittsburgh Penguins are going to be unknown. I think Philadelphia's going to have quite the season. I think in New Jersey, everyone's going to be happy that everybody's just healthy again, you know? Like, everybody's just going to be happy. But the Blue Jackets are still going to be...
Islanders.
Yeah, I'm not...
Just gotta say, speaking of the Islanders, y'all hear about the whole Anthony Duclair haircut situation?
What happened?
So apparently, Duclair had to cut his dreadlocks because of certain policies that Lou Lamoriello has for the Islanders, and yeah, you can imagine fans are definitely not exactly happy about that policy.
No
like,
way.
You're making him cut his hair for that? Like, what in the fucking George Steinberger shit is this?
That's kind of cringe.
That's almost like Yankees type shit where they're like, no facial hair, how dare you? Meh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was that felt like I don't know, that felt like an Islanders moment.
Yeah. like
Do
the
you have
also.
anything to say about hockey?
Hmm? I think Taegan.
Connor Bedard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Connor Bedard is gonna be really, 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 really good. Last note, but for the Atlantic, Patrick Laine and the Canadians. What? I think it's either
really
gonna.
hope he can stay healthy. I
Mhm.
really hope he can.
It's either gonna be the worst move that the Canadians could ever do, because the Canadians, again, Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield have been really teased to be like these franchise-changing players. They're just good. They're good on the first line. Like the Canadians need a franchise player. Like Slavkovsky still hasn't really been that franchise player, and he was taken first overall, right? Like I think Logan Cooley has been the best player of the batch of that draft class right now. Right, like Slavkovsky. I mean, it's going to be year 3, and you really hope he's going to show something. But if he shows that he's this franchise player, holy smokes! Holy smokes, man! You're going to have the Canadians being really good. The Leafs are still going to be really good as long as they have Austin Matthews. I mean, the Lightning. I want to know what kind of step the Lightning are going to take, right?
Yeah, Lightning are gonna be really interesting because you did lose Stamkos, but you also got Jake Gensel.
Question is, will the Red Wings ever get out of that self-inflicted hamster wheel they put themselves in?
That's very that's really good. Yeah, I agree. Same thing with the Sabres. I think are in the same boat too. Same boat. One of the Sabres gonna really merge. How's Boston gonna survive? How did Boston do well in free agency? Did they overpay a bunch of guys? Like, there's a lot of questions, but if the questions aren't, nah, man, you don't have to worry at all. Oh, good lord, this is gonna be another bloodbath.
And then there's Ottawa.
And then there's Ottawa.
Can you do anything right?
I think they've been screwed over by the NHL, but also the fact that didn't they have one of their they had a guy that wouldn't sign as an RFA in Ottawa, and then did he go to Europe? Or was it was Shane Pinto? Was it like for gambling or something? I can't remember. There was some tomfoolery going on in the land of.
Yeah, let's see.
You know what I call it, Luke?
What do you
I call it the ghost of Eugene Melnick.
True, but I think the Senators bit more off than they can chew, but they don't have really a prospect pool that I know of, or that franchise-changing talent that at least is in that organization. I think they've had good players, but sometimes those good players are hurt.
Well, my issue is that Pierre Dorion couldn't manage a roster to save his life. Like, when he tried to do a 1-for-1 Cam Talbot for Philip Gustafson.
Yeah, they've also took quite the risk signing Olmark. They're gonna have to extend him, or you paid a lot for him. And I mean, I think he's good, but like,
they desperately need goaltending. Like, to be fair, they desperately need goaltending. You did get rid of one of your pretty lackluster goalies, at least to Boston. But at the same time, yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see how they handle the extension part. But by the way, about Shane, about Shane Pinto, so apparently he did have a gambling suspension, but that was served last season. He served it for like half of the season, I believe, or something along the lines of that.
Was there like one of the players that's going through like a contract thing? I think there was something going on with that, right? They couldn't sign one of their RFAs.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it is, but all I know of Ottawa, I think what really told me the vibes of their off season was when they hired Travis Green.
Wait. Oh no, yeah. Here's the thing. I like Travis Green. I liked him in Vancouver. I feel like it's more of organizational dysfunction. Like he has a style, right? He has a style, but like we'll see what happens. I mean, again, he did lead in 2020. The Canucks. He did have him go to the second round of the Stanley Cup in 2020 and forced Game 7.
He did.
He did do that.
Big jerk, by the way. Big jerk, because one of the teams he knocked out was the Wild.
Yeah, sorry, Spencer. We kind of they destroyed them. But the thing
I can never listen to Holiday by Green Day in the same way again.
Oh yeah, that's the Canucks goal sound. I forgot. So, I think he could be good, but like the thing is, you're in the division of death itself.
Yeah.
Like it is death. The division of death, and that's just the most unfortunate thing. There's a lot of I think a lot of good hockey teams, but there's not a whole lot of really great ones.
Still waiting on the Yzerplan to coalesce.
That's the big one. And we're gonna see what happens, because I mean, if you think of it this with East, especially with how much talent the Carolina Hurricanes lost, like they had to pick and choose what guys they wanted to keep. I mean, Lightning lost a lot of good players. Florida won a cup. We're gonna see I think it's gonna be a very different batch of teams that make the Eastern Conference playoffs this year. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be very
By the way,
different.
regarding the Metro, I feel like for me, I feel like if I had to pick a team, I definitely pick the Rangers, because I just think they're easily the most talented team in that division. But there's also a lot on the line, I feel like, with the Rangers right now, because they're gonna have some decisions to make. Because after this season, Panarin will have one more year on his contract, and then afterwards he'll be a free agent. And there's also the big one. Igor's going to be getting a payday.
Oh, yeah. And he is, again, one of the best goalies in the NHL. That's gonna be big. That's gonna be big. I can't wait for that. Like, we're gonna have it's gonna be a really good hockey year. I think there's so much. I think the Pacific is cut and dry with who makes it. The Central's gonna be wide opened. Atlantic is gonna be wide opened. I think we're gonna probably see a really good season of hockey, and training camp is just about to get underway here in a couple of weeks too. So,
yep,
a lot of interesting stuff. There's still a lot of things that could always happen. There's a lot of trades going on, like the NHL news, like for like moves that have a lot of significance, is still going on. So, I am pretty excited about hockey this upcoming year. I think it's going to be really good. And we're going to wait and see what happens this upcoming year. And yeah, I think there's one last thing I want to get into. And then if you guys have anything, I'll leave the floor open to you. Wanted to start this off first because I was like blistering angry 2 hours ago. I've since calmed down since then. The Seattle Mariners have just fired Scott Service.
I guess he's no longer in service, huh?
Scott. Yeah. 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 Oh boy. Oh boy. There's a rat in the Mariners organization right now. I think it's the equivalent of, who is that guy? Jack Easterby, right? For the guy for the Houston Texans?
Yeah.
yes.
I think there's somebody on the level of Jack Easterby that is tainting this Mariners organization? There's got to be. Now, as much as I was going to, call the job of Scott Service into question, right? Okay, cool. The Mariners won. As much as Scott Service to me was a big question number. I didn't know if now was the right time to fire him, but I can understand why it was the time to fire him. Right, the Mariners go on a road trip where you really needed to go 4-5 or 5-4, right? You really had to go show something. You get swept in Detroit, you only win one in Pittsburgh, and you get swept by the Dodgers. Oh boy, it was a road trip from hell. All the trade acquisitions were hitting sub 100 batting average during this road trip. Justin Turner was 94. Randy Rosarena was hitting 80.088 is like completely unacceptable. So they fire Scott Service, and I can understand you're in the sports world, you're in the sports business, and that when you're in the business of sports, insiders are gonna leak information before the team announces it. Like John Boy Media, they are expected to fire Scott Service, right? And there was an interview that Ken Rosenthal did with Jerry DiPoto, and it was like, it sounded like the way how you can. We don't know what the contents of the interview was. But I guess the conclusion that Ken Rosenthal got was, they're going to fire Scott Service at some point. They have this abysmal road trip. And then someone from the Mariners organization just texts him and says, we're going to probably fire him. And then, boom, there's their tweets. There's your tweet. Mariners are expected to fire Scott Service today. Scott Service finds out on social media. That's kind of how it works. Like, that's the power of social media. Insiders, I could not imagine being like a GM or an assistant GM in an organization and having like the swarm of cockroaches of insiders just waiting for you to say that you're 95% sure something is going to happen. All right? Like, we're talking like draft picks get leaked before Goodell announces them. So, as disgusting as it is, I can also understand that how the job of an insider works. You got to get the scoop. You want to be the first, on the scoop. So they got it. Scott Service is fired.
It's like working at Cold Stone. It's all about the scoop.
Mm-hmm. So now you have Dan Wilson, the manager in charge, and you now have Edgar Martinez teaching this team hitting and shit. I want to know. I'm just waiting for them, right? For the bats to start hitting. This team couldn't hit a ball off a tee. Their strikeout numbers are absolutely abysmal. They have guys that should be in the depth or a platoon position that are playing everyday hitter that are playing every day that shouldn't be playing every day. Mitch Garver has been a total bust of a signing, and the Mariners, in terms of free agency signings, they've cut guys for not nearly as bad of what Mitch Garver has done for Seattle.
Yeah, I was about to say, we've had plenty of DMs between the two of us where we discussed that, they DFA'd the wrong guy. It should have been Mitch Garver, not Ty France.
It should have been, they should have DFA'd Mitch Garver, and they should have traded for a backup C.
Jeez, 165 hitting average?
They've cut guys Colton Wong was barely 200 and they cut his ass. AJ Pollock's was around 220. They cut his ass. Right? Same thing with Tony La Stella. Right? What are we doing here with the guys that we bring in can't hit, we get rid of him. Mitch Garver, like, he had an okay June, but like then so we've had other guys. We've had other guys that've had an okay stretch, and we were okay with playing them, and we still have moved off of them. Shocking as it is. But Mitch Garver, to me, I think it's John Stanton that's preventing him from being released. I think it's John Stanton. I think it's all because of what Cal Rowley's comments towards the organization was at last off season. John Stanton noticed, and I think the next day they said, "Hey, let's get Mitch Garver." Mitch Garver was not the right piece that they needed. He's a DH whose one job is to hit. But he can't even hit, man. The Mariners did a smart job of what they did, but they didn't have a dedicated player at DH. They always rotated the DH position. It'd give guys, guys still want to hit, but sure, you'll just take them up for the field and they're just hitting that day. Like, I really loved it when they did that, right? But Mitch Garver can't hit, and he's was playing as a regular DH position, and Mitch Haniger statistically is better if we just have him as the DH. So, the answer was, hey, let's cut Ty France. Oh my God, I looked at that and I was like, I get it, but I thought they were going to do more. If you're going to cut Ty France, you're cutting Mitch Haniger and you're cutting Mitch Garver. Both are having abysmal seasons.
And now France is thriving in Cincinnati.
Who would have thought? There is a Jack Easterby type person in this organization. There's a Jack Easterby type person in this organization. I don't know who it is. I don't know what it is.
And now the fans have to play Among Us to suss them out.
Like, I'm reading so many posts about fans canceling their season tickets. Alright, I'm reading my friend's is I think like a part-time season ticket, like what's the word? Like, he doesn't have all the season tickets, he's got select spots. Like, he goes to probably about like 20 to 30 games a season. Right? Like, he's a diehard fan, and he doesn't even know if he wants to renew his membership. Because, like, memberships, like, they don't expire at the end of the season. They're going to expire at the end of this month. So, yeah.
Suppose while we're on the subject of baseball, we could always enter the Cubs corner.
Mm-hmm.
And you want me to talk about some stuff? I can talk. Let me fucking talk. I will talk. But anyways, before I do though, I do just want to quickly add to what Luke said about Servius. I get the move. Like, I understand why they're doing it, because it's like, okay, when you're hitting that badly, something's not right. Like, something is clearly not clicking. And I think a lot of us knew he was not going to be coming back after this season. Like, I think we knew, okay, he's probably not going to... He'll probably not be back here next year. But, I understand the move. It's just, obviously, the risk you take is it's like, okay, we're late in the season. We don't know how this interim's going to do.
He's not interim. He's the bench boss going forward.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. But that makes... I can understand that then, when it's like, okay, they're the guy going forward and they're taking over from here. That's fine. I can understand that. It's just the Mariners. It's probably something they probably wanted to, like, wait until the end of the season to make a change. But when you saw how bad the offense was doing and how just god awful that road trip was, it's like, okay, we got no choice. Like, we gotta freaking do something here. And yeah, that's feels like that team in a nutshell right now. The Mariners, they're gonna have to make a good amount of moves, and I don't know if I trust them to make the right moves. But yeah, Mariners, got some soul searching to do. Now, since Spencer mentioned it, Cubs, how have they been doing? Like, it's not been bad. It's definitely been a better stretch than what we were seeing when we made that video on them. But Cubs right now are playing decent baseball. I mean, there were some highlights as of late. I mean, I would argue like guys like, Steele and Imanaga, they're still doing their things. Pete Crow Armstrong's been heating up. He had an inside the park homer today. Took him 14 seconds to round all the bases. That was base. But yeah, literally. But yeah, I don't really have much to comment. Like I don't not much has really changed except for one thing. There's one thing that has changed with the Cubs. That is that Heart Attack Hector is no longer in the Cubs. Hector Neris was DFA'd, and that I can tell you right now, heart attack rates in Chicago have fallen dramatically since.
All I'm gonna say about the Cubs is this team doesn't need my attention anymore. They've shown that they just want to be complacent and not doing anything this season other than actively making me annoyed. So simply put, the Chicago Cubs are a team that exists. They're in a state of existence as the Chicago Bulls right now.
I agree. Like, in terms of what he said, like, this team exists. Like, I think that's a good way to say it, actually. But, yeah, outside of that, not much else to comment on. Pretty standard stuff as of late.
Yeah, and the Brewers are still stomping on this Central, like Murph Ball Go Burr.
The Brewers won tonight. I thought the Brewers beat I thought Gary Sanchez had like a triple, I believe, or something. Been along the lines of that.
Yeah, they beat the snot out of the Athletics tonight.
They did.
I
guess the only thing, yeah, Cheerios. Still doing Cheerio things. I guess the only thing I'm really interested in with the NL right now is who's going to win Rookie of the Year, because it feels like the three consensus guys right now are Paul Skeens, Jackson Cheerio, and Jackson Merrill. Like, they're the three favorites right now.
Jackson Merrill is on the Brewers, right?
No, he's Padres.
Right, Padres. Because like I told Spencer, Jackson Cheerio wins NL Rookie of the Year. You get an extra first-round pick, and you get another first-round pick purely for having Jackson Cheerio play the entire rookie year.
Yeah, and
which is huge.
And pretty much the only person I have seen be like, "Oh, Jackson Cheerio's not getting it," is some troll on Cubs Twitter being like, "Oh, the Brewers are mid. They don't even have anybody."
Yeah. That sounds like a usual brain rotting dumbass on Twitter. That's all I can say. I do just wonder, how will people react if, because I know he hasn't been he's still playing great ball. It's just he hasn't been to the godlike level that people saw him just a little while ago. But I am interested in what happens if baseball. Just the reaction if they don't give, Skeens the award. I'm just interested in the reaction.
I think most of the reaction is going to come from Reddit, if we're being honest.
Agree with that.
That was my cat. Did you hear the meow on the mic?
Yeah, I thought that for a second. I thought that was Taegan moaning in agony.
No, that was my cat. That was Hazel.
Yeah, I heard that for a brief second.
Also, 2 more losses, and the White Sox will be at 100.
Woo!
Jeez, yes, they're 2 away, and they've already been eliminated in August from the playoffs. And all of this to not even get a top 10 pick.
That's the funniest thing out of all of it. It's a shame thing that John Stanton's not even the top 5 worst owners in baseball. It's not even close, man.
Yeah, it's crazy that John Fisher isn't even the worst.
John Fisher's the worst.
No, I'm sorry, but at least John Fisher is putting an effort into putting in prospects for his new place.
Yeah,
what the fuck is Jerry Reinsdorf doing?
that's true.
You know, like, Nickman can attest to this. You know, Jerry Reinsdorf does not know what the fuck he's doing as far as roster management, and he's had to blow it up several times. You know, just to get them at 500 again. And
Yeah, and I think the tweet of the week, honestly, the tweet of the week has to be when, just looking for this because I know where the hell it is, but, yeah, so, here it is. Yeah, Sister Jean turned 105 years old, and the best tweet I saw was, fun fact, there's been 1 year in her life where the White Sox won a playoff series.
Oh my.
It's 105, by the way. That's tweet of the week right there.
Oh my god. Why are people White Sox fans?
Because they were born to suffer. You do not want to become one. You are born into being it.
born into it, molded by it.
Also, that reminds me of the tweet from Mina Kimes when someone asked them, like, don't make your kid a Mariners fan. She just responded, like, no, I will mold them into one. They will feel my suffering.
Oh boy. Oh, Mina Kimes is so based. Mina Kimes is so based. She is really good at what she does. She's really good at what she does.
What else is happening in baseball? The Twins are making a playoff push. That's cool.
That'll be interesting, but the Twins, they need Byron Buxton to do Byron Buxton things, because if he's out, then yeah, good luck.
Yeah. Very outside. Fun fact. Funny thing is, outside of like the outside of the NL Central, like every division is honestly up for grabs right now. Like it's pretty close right now. Because I mean, some teams have been struggling. Like Phillies have really been struggling since the All-Star break. Guardians have been struggling since the All-Star break. And there's just a lot of divisions that are close right now. Like the NL West is just a three-race gauntlet right now between three teams that are all playing super hot baseball.
Yeah, like even the Snakes are right on the tail of the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, and you know, as much as I miss Adain, I'm so glad I'm you know, he's not here, so I can finally say what's on my chest. I don't think the Giants are making the playoffs.
No, they're not making the playoffs. No, that's not even. They're not even. No. The Diamondbacks are better. The Padres are better, and you have the Dodgers. You're still rebuilding. Get back in your corner.
Yeah, I'm just glad Adain isn't here to bitch in my ear about, oh, quit being a doomer. You know, they're just hating.
So yeah. I think that's going to do it for us today. Shout out to all. It's game day in Ireland still, and on the East Coast too. Don't you know?
Yeah, it's 1:34 over here. I'm gonna grab
Central
some
time.
Central time too. It's game day for Central time. Me and Nick have to wait about another hour and a half before it's game day for us. Don't you know?
It's party time over in Illinois.
So.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Boo. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for us. Next week we are going to have our predictions for the NFL playoffs and the Tank Bowls of the Super Bowl winners. This one will be open mic. So we're gonna this is gonna be the annual one where we find out the consent. What's the consensus? What are people thinking? Who are people thinking is gonna make the playoffs this year?
And who's gonna be smoking crack? That's me.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be next week's stream. If we don't do it next Friday, we're definitely gonna try to do it Wednesday. But that is the next planned stream. It is the official predictions. It will be open mic. Anyone can join. Let us know. Who do you think is gonna make the playoffs? Who do you think is gonna get the first overall pick? Do let us know. Save those thoughts. We're gonna want to know next week. Until then. Classic 3-hour episode, by the way.
We're getting back to form, folks.
We're getting back
What
to
happened
form.
when we returned to tradition.
We went 3.5 hours last week, and we went to 3 this week. So, yeah. Find out what happens. Can't wait. Football season is almost here, folks. We almost did it.
Entry, insight, and intercourse. That's us.
Also, the most shocking thing about Pick'ems, as I've been keeping track of this entire time, the amount of times Aiden, Spencer, and Nickman have traded first place.
Okay, maybe not the intercourse.
You guys have just been, it's someone's first this week, then it's this person, then it's this person, then you're tied, then you're not tied. It's always changing. That's the funniest thing. Like, it's very funny. I've been doing my best to keep up with everything, and it's been pretty funny. It's been pretty funny. Aiden and Taegan and I are catching up, though. Kinda.
I can imagine.
Kinda. We're trying. I know Taegan's been...
Crack rock that's gonna...
Taegan's been working at catching up. He's gonna... I wouldn't be surprised if he passes me soon, but... Anyways, we'll see you guys next week. Take care, and of course have yourselves a damn good one.